Hey, how's it going, everybody? Pairings have gone up. We're just waiting on some people to sit down, is all. Or pairings are round. Pairings for round one are up now. All right, we've got 16 players tonight, and sounds like people are getting sick. Hey, how's it going, Sidanu?
I wish we had like hashtags, so I could be like hashtag lands in front, or like hashtag underground see or die, and some people could be like, "Who's this guy?"
We only have luck, skill, death, right? So this is Terry, everybody. If you haven't seen Terry, it's probably just because they haven't seen your face.
That's true,
They've seen you play.
My lands in front.
Yes, whoever, if you've been watching us before, Terry's the guy who plays with the lands in front. If you're not a lands player, right? Like the lands players.
First of all, lands players aren't people, so it's
they're not people.
I'm an actual person. Proof. So
see, look, person. So yeah, Terry just plays at the store. Usually you're on Grixis Delver.
Grixis Delver or 4-color control.
Or 4-color.
Like I said, anything with Underground Sea. I played like Team America in the 1K here.
Okay.
And it stopped pretty well. I didn't lose a round in the Swiss except for Paul.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anything with Delver, Underground Sea. Sounds good to me.
lots of brainstorms and force of wills.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm like opposite. I always find myself playing something like silly, right? Like I don't know.
I think my like secret fetish is like aggro loam. I like dream about the deck, and one day I wish I could play it, but like
it's expensive.
Yeah,
it's like really expensive.
I don't think the deck's like that good, but it seems like I don't know. Just seems like a fun deck to play. Also, any deck that runs Night, we were even talking about this outside. Like Night of the Reliquary is probably my favorite Magic card. Is like a lot of people, and just like that's a card I wish I could play more with. But it's not True Name Nemesis.
Maverick's fine.
Yeah,
Maverick's fine.
It's true, but it doesn't have Brainstorm.
No, it doesn't have Brainstorm. Exactly. Wait, does Aggro Loam usually run Brainstorms?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, I was
That's
gonna say
the weird
like,
part.
yeah.
But it's just like it's a weird thing. I don't know. It's like interesting because like when I first started playing Magic and Legacy, like it's funny. People I looked up to, one of the guys played Aggro Loam, and I remember him thinking Countryside Crusher, which is the absolute best card in Magic, and like to this day, I still think that card for some reason is like bananas, but it's not. But yeah, just personal preference.
All right, so this is Calvin here, right?
Yeah, he's got the thoughts.
Okay. Let's get. And you said he was on 4-color?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Calvin, you're 5'6", and you look up to a lot of people. Same. I mean, I'm not 5'6". I'm a little taller than that, but not by a lot. Not by a lot. All right, and then we got Travis.
We had to guess what Travis is on. It's got to be Storm, right? I mean, he used to play Storm.
I mean, that is the Travis that we're thinking of, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see. 5'6", no shoes. Les, what are you whatting about? What are you saying what about? And welcome. Is Noah running rug? I did not see Noah today.
Noah either,
yeah. And he's been on miracles,
right? Yeah.
He's been on much more miracles than he has anything else. So let's get this updated.
Good old Canadian Threshold.
Yep.
It's a deck I wish I played more. Actually.
Calvin's played it once or twice. Yeah.
He played it during the. Oh, here we go. We totally missed this.
Oh, this is Burn.
Oh, this is Burn. Okay. This would be interesting. I mean, so he's got a Thought Seize. So he basically saves himself. That's not bad. Thought Seizing a creature though. Little Brun. There's not many better targets to Thoughts. Well, you want to get the Fire Blast and you want to get the Price of Progress, but getting a creature, I don't know. Unless he must not have removal. He's got Searing Blood. He's got a lot of burn.
Yeah, 2 Searing Blood, a Chain Lightning, and a Lightning Bolt.
What do you think? What do you think he's got to go get?
Well, he took the creature, right?
Yeah.
Oh, is he?
No. What's Calvin? So right now, I think Calvin's got to find 2 Deathrite Shamans and a Force of Will. That's what I'm thinking.
And unfortunately, Searing Blood just wrecks Deathrite Shaman.
Yeah.
So that really isn't something that he's in business for. So I think what Calvin's looking for is something that can get around this. Like I think Leovold would be pretty good.
Sure.
I think True Name Nemesis is right where he wants to be. Do you know if he plays any True Name?
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
That's probably pretty difficult.
Tell you one thing, you put in a Gurmag today, and the Gurmag may pay off dividends. Like when I play 4-color control, I feel like most of the time I'm beating Burn because I run the weird Tasigur.
Okay.
It's when Tasigur comes out because like it puts a clock on them and then it blocks creatures. So he's got to have a combination of some sort of threat and some sort of mana or not mana disruption but spell disruption. So I don't know. I mean, going Thoughtseize Ponder. I mean, it already puts you pretty behind with the Rift Bolt. It's hard not to win these matchups when you're slamming Deathrite turn 1. Not slamming Deathrite in turn 1.
And it seems like Travis is really really prepared for something like Deathrite.
Yeah.
Because Searing Blood's not typically in the Burn main. I don't think this is Travis though. I think this is Tyson.
You think so?
I really do.
We're stuck with Burn no matter what. I'm pretty sure.
Because this is my friend. He just barely built Burn and he just barely bought these for his deck. I really think this is Tyson, but maybe they just gave me their name wrong. I'll ask. Let's see if they get back to me. Well, he's Travis for now. He's Travis for now. But yeah, Calvin's not just running out creatures, right? Like it's Searing Blood's just gonna wreck any creature he plays.
Yeah, the one thing too is you got to realize is what is Calvin keeping his mana up for? I mean, this deck doesn't run hard counters. It runs removal, so I feel like every turn he's just passing and collecting cards. He's also just taking 3 damage a later turn. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it's just like he's got to have some sort of action, and it's already almost getting too late. And you've got 4 lands and you're at 9, and you don't have anything in your hand. It looks like. I'm not a fan of the flip books. I think we should get rid of them too. We're on the same team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll tell that to Brian.
No, he knows.
Am I the only one who's gotten lectured about the flip books though?
I think you've complained about them more than anybody else, which was funny because when we very first got them, I go, "Oh, they look really nice," and I'm like, "The players are going to hate them."
Let's see here. I think so. I think Burn's one of those things where it's just like I think it is really good in Legacy right now.
It is.
But I think the biggest this is the reason why I don't play Burn. I feel like I don't get an advantage by playing Burn because I feel like when I'm playing decks of Brainstorm and Force of Will, I can gain an advantage by my plays.
Yeah.
But with Burn, everything's pretty much like, hey, we're going to the dome or we're killing Deathrites.
Yep.
So I think
And there are a lot of games where like the Burn player just like won't have creatures and they won't kill creatures, so they'll play Deathrite, but Deathrite doesn't do anything because it can't gain them any life. I mean, that doesn't happen like as often, but it can.
Yeah.
Riley Cole, that's awesome. So glad you got that playmat. That is fantastic. I mean, the Searing Bloods right now, they don't look particularly good because right, like Calvin's not playing a creature, but at the same time Calvin's at 6 and like the longer he doesn't do anything, like right, like I think Tyson's just.
But then he's
gonna find something.
He's gonna find that Price of Progress. I think
right.
They've got 4 of them.
Yeah, 4 Price of Progress in deck.
I mean, this is you gotta force something. Oh, okay, that's not good if you're letting a Fire Blast resolve, because that's the perfect time to
Okay, so in response to the Culligan's command, he Fire Blasted, and then a Searing Blaze hits the bin. Okay, so I think Calvin's trying to get rid of one more Searing Blood, but I think he's definitely dead.
Just like hip hop, Calvin's dead.
Exactly like that.
That's how it went, Shiny new, and then all of a sudden, I'm sick of this.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna take 1. Yeah. Well, at this point, it just doesn't matter. I think like I said, it's. I don't even. Now he's got it. Well, he can't force a will now, so I don't know. Right. I don't know. I don't think there is some sort of.
Like even it doesn't even matter, or no, the creature does have to die from Searing Blood, right? The creature has to die for it to deal damage to the player. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
It shouldn't have taken 6. He Fire Blast, it took 4. Did he Scalding Tarn twice? They should.
I thought it was just once. Wasn't it just once?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he only had one.
Yeah.
Yeah, when that creature dies, Searing Blood deals 3 damage. So yeah, Leovold really would be the ideal creature for Calvin to play right now. But even then, like, okay, here's a Rift Bolt. You die my upkeep.
Yeah. Calvin may have one counter spell in the deck. I can't remember. He's messing around with it.
I mean, he has 5 mana. He could draw Force of Will. He could live one more turn.
It's like another Time Walk, though. I mean,
yeah.
That was an Egyptian card, so it could be Force of Will. Calvin plays all Egyptian cards.
All Egyptian. All the Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Yeah, I know. Because now he's got to play.
He has to go like dual land into have Force just to live.
The funny thing is, Kelvin and I talked about this because he and I played this a ton, and his version of 4-color control is very anti-creature right now, mainly because of Grixis Delver.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I play 4-color control, I run the weird 3 Inquisition, 1 Thoughtseize, 2 Him version. And in testing, we figured out like it's got a lot better matchup versus Burn. But at the end of the day, you're probably losing most of your game 1s anyways. So like it'll be interesting to see game 2 and 3.
Yeah, there'll be a lot more interaction. Still no response. I think this is Tyson. I'm just going with my gut here.
I was kind of excited. I thought we were going to see maybe Storm versus 4-color control.
Maybe. Oh, we gotta check up. Well, I guess these guys are just starting up their game 2. It looks like. So this is Jordan and Kyler. Now Jordan is on Steel Stompy. I'm not sure what Kyler's on.
I swear it's some sort of Blood Moon mix. So I don't know.
I want to say somebody at like earlier today was like yells across the room, Kyler, and like of course it's and I'm like, what? Like I'm not used to a person with this name around here. I can't deal with it.
As someone who doesn't advocate for Blood Moons, we don't want Bryce. Don't ask where Bryce is. Bryce is dead.
Bryce is only here on Tuesdays, but he is playing in the tournament.
Maybe we'll see. We'll root against him though. We're gonna hardcore root against Bryce.
Yeah, we have to root against it.
He roots against me every time I'm on stream. Mm-hmm. But I want you to think of this. Tell me if this is a genius idea. We're gonna open a bar and we're gonna make one of our drinks called Bloody Moonies.
I agree.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for all the Blood Moon players who sit in the corner who don't interact with the rest of the people. Not very social.
Who is this guy? This is Terry. He plays here regularly, and then Bryce usually only commentates on Tuesday. Usually we have Matt here, but he had other things to do today.
Is Bryce playing Grixis today?
I think he's on blue red.
Oh, he is. Mm-hmm. He's still bouncing back and forth.
Yeah.
What's up? Oh, what's going on here? But this is
Lodestone Golem.
Lodestone Golem and Chalice of the Void. Not a lot's gonna happen.
Is this the red-white painter deck?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Sacred Foundry.
I want to say we saw this last time. Yeah, there's a painter.
Painter's kind of a funny deck. I never know how I feel about it.
Yeah, there's an Enlightened Tutor. He doesn't have duels, not even plateaus. So Sacred Foundries, they're about as good as a plateau.
Dude, I love Stoneblade.
Me too.
I secretly think, and I think it's one of the best decks still, and I don't know, but there's just something weird. As someone who grew up loving casting Stoneforge Mystic, there's just something that doesn't feel right now. And I think maybe it's just because the way the tempo of Grixis Delver, or maybe the Cooligan's commands and 4-color control. Mm-hmm. But like, I mean, think about the deck. The deck's got plenty of 2-for-1s. It's got Swords of Plowshare. If you play the blue-white version, you're probably playing Back to Basics or Jace. I mean, you got plenty of ammo, but it just sometimes the deck just doesn't get there. Like, that's my favorite Legacy deck is good old USA Stoneblade, but I just feel like I can't play it. Like, that's why I've been playing Delver and 4-color control. Mainly probably because of those reasons I said, but just you just never feel like you're really like ahead. And even when you feel like you're ahead, you feel like, you know, something can just storm back. But at the end of the day, playing cards like True Name Nemesis with equipment's good.
Right.
So
let's jump back over to our main match. We'll catch up with them in a little bit. I actually love the Stoneblade deck. I played Esper one time.
Yeah.
I played it one time, and I ended up like winning my first 2 matches and like feeling really really good about it. And then I beat Josh Snow in round 3, and I was like, I like this deck. Like I can deal with this. I probably butchered like everything and just got lucky, but I really enjoyed it.
yeah, I think so. I mean, like, just Cooligan's Command is just like is pretty disgusting. That's the problem. Like I was even playing the Esper Blade, and I love Esper Blade too. Yeah. Inquisition, being able to play, you know, stuff like that too is great. But then you don't have Pyroblast, and then just sometimes just needing Pyroblast too. That's another.
You need to be able to interact with blue cards.
Because I prefer Team America and Bug Delver over Grixis Delver, and I prefer Stoneblade over 4-color control. And one of the reasons why, like when I make my little T chart, like why I should play this deck, another one's just Pyroblast. So that's why I prefer the USA Stoneblade version because of Pyroblast. Because a Resolve Jace against Esper Blade, it just is always a struggle. It's always that Jace always gets too many brainstorms off and things like that. So that's kind of my problem with like the Stoneblade. Is sometimes they just get out controlled. But then there's sometimes where you hit the perfect hands and you can do, you know, stuff. And you have a bunch of 1-ofs. I love the 1-of versions of those decks. The problem with this match is if we like talk too much and like the game's gonna be over because it's burned.
Mm-hmm. We have a backup match. That's actually like one of my favorite things about starting with like a burn player or like a fast combo player, like like Black Red Reanimator or what else, you know. Test or something.
I don't even know if it's a hidden tier 1 deck. I mean, ask yourself this: like a deck that has Swords to Plowshare, Brainstorm, Force of Will, Stoneforge Mystic, which gets you Battle Skull and Obvious 2-for-1s, Jace the Mind Sculptor. You know, I mean, if you ask yourself, man, is that a tier 1 deck? It sure sounds like it, right?
It really does.
But then it's not. So that's the problem. Where like, I think it's this. This is my opinion on it. I think it's one of those decks where if you play it a lot, you understand your matchups a lot, it can be a really good deck. And, you know, I think there's a place for it, but I don't think it's a deck somebody can just pick it up and play it and immediately just start winning. Like, I think Grixis Delver, there's obviously some components of it that make it a difficult deck, but sometimes you just ride the lightning, and that's just the truth. As someone who's played the deck, like, there's the Lions you know, the better you are, the better the deck gets, but, you know, that's the problem with Stoneblade is you really don't have a lot of room for error, in my opinion. I don't know, you disagree?
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. It's probably one of the most punishing brainstorm decks, right? Like some brainstorm decks, it really doesn't matter what you do. Like you're just gonna get more cards. You're gonna throw away some lands and some things that aren't gonna matter in the matchup. But I feel like Stoneblade is much more particular about what it needs when you brainstorm. So we did see a Hymn to Tarok. This got rid of a land and a price of progress. It's got to feel good.
That's really
for
good.
For Calvin to get rid of a price of progress.
I mean, you could argue that he just cast a 2 black spell that said gain 8 life almost.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, pretty much. One of the better cards in the matchup.
That's the thing. Is going first in this matchup is just so huge for Calvin's side. Is being able to cast a discard spell and Hymn to Torok before things get going. Let's see. And the sad part is kind of in the same position. He doesn't have a threat back. It looks like Tyson has still got. Let's see what he's got left. So he's only got 1 card. Oh, he fumbled it. That's probably fine. Calvin's got the fatal push.
There's gonna be a fatal push,
so that's good. Mm-hmm. That's generally you like to see Goblin Guide in this matchup.
Yeah, usually. But like you said, you play tested against Calvin, and he's very prepared for creatures.
Yeah.
So I think that's already showing. We've seen a couple creatures die.
I always like whenever I play Brian, I always pretend they have a lightning bolt on top. So I mean, so can Calvin win? So let's say he's got 4 turns to win, or we'll say 4 turns with fetches and Force of Wills. So what does he got to do? You know, it's got to be he's got to find. I mean, even if he grinds him out to no cards, like I said, if he's playing a lightning bolt off the top, eventually he'll lose. So he's got to get something. Like maybe it's just Snapcaster Mage or something.
I will say this: 13, and he has four lands in play. Calvin's doing just fine.
Yeah.
Like this is much better for him than last game. And actually like seeing what Tyson has like 1 card in hand and 3 lands. Not a lot's going right for him. And if he's just sitting on like a Fire Blast in hand, you can't really afford to lose 2 lands at this moment. So he doesn't have a lot going at all. Calvin finally finds a threat, but this isn't gonna do much, right? Like 1 damage a turn.
I guess it cantrips, and then now he can't block. Now he can't attack. Basically, when that's pretty much it's not bad. I think it's really good if you think about it. So makes all his creature draws worse.
Okay, Searing Blood. Yeah.
No.
Okay. So Flusterstorm. This is going to take care of Searing Blood. That was definitely something that Calvin needed to have. You know, losing that Baleful Strix and freeing up Tyson's creature draws is going to matter.
You know, I would say game 1's really hard for Calvin, but I'll take after sideboard. I always take the control deck versus burn, but it's burn. Sometimes just just lose.
Calvin does only have 1 card left in hand. If Tyson does have something to deal with, like another Searing Blood or something for the Deathrite, then I think Calvin will still be in a difficult spot. Okay. This is Pyrostatic Pillar. The Eidolon on an enchantment.
Yeah. I think if I had a choice, I think I always want to be in the driver's seat of the non-burn player, just because I feel like you always, like I said, you kind of have more control of what's going on.
Yep. I don't think Tyson's drawing much though.
Yeah, he's at one point he had 2 lands, and you made a comment about Fire Blast not being very good. Now he's got 4 lands, so that tells you what he's been drawing.
Yeah. He's actually playing it. Chances are, I think the other card in his hand is either a Fire Blast or a land. For his sake, I hope it's a Fire Blast. Like, all right, what have I got? Nope, land number 5. Okay, so if I had to guess, that was the card he was holding. He was just holding on to another land. It's not doing much. 2 more damage from Deathrite, and now Calvin's. I don't know if Calvin can lose from this point.
I don't think he can, because he's got to go like runner, price of progress almost. I mean, especially if he's playing a land right now.
No, I think Tyson drew another land.
Yeah.
I think his hand is just land. So it looks like we'll see a game 3.
And he's probably okay. I mean, like, it's, hey, going into game 3, you're on the play.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not the worst of situations.
No, not at all.
I mean, he knows Calvin's got Flusterstorm, so maybe he's more careful with his Fire Blast now. I don't know. Probably knew that before, but still.
Yeah.
I don't know how a burn player thinks. I don't know if there's like a lot of critical thinking going in there.
At this point in the game, I can't imagine this.
Just like mash, 3, 3, 3.
There are absolute, like, you have to know how to play around counter spells, right? Like, there's, in fact, I think burn does take a certain amount of skill to play, but there are games where there is no skill involved. You just win. I think of it kind of similar to that's ridiculous. I think of it similar to Infect, where like some games you kind of have to grind it out and make sure your spells resolve and make sure you get that kill, right? But there are other games where you just start off burning, your opponent has nothing, and they die. Like
sometimes you just berserk, and sometimes your opponent says, "All right,
I don't have it." Like, okay, well, let's get Tex Probe on turn 2, and all right, kill you.
The funny part, I read a good article, or maybe it's a podcast, where the guy talks about playing decks like that, and he says that someone asked, like, how do I become a better player in those decks? And he said, you have to be able to look yourself in the mirror and realize you're the type of person who casts a berserk and not know if they have counter spells or not, and they have a full hand. And I was just like, it's kind of interesting. I don't know if I could. I don't think I could play a deck like that because I just assume they have it every time.
Oh, look. Okay, so jumping back into our other match, and I think these guys are tied 1-1 because Jordan started last game, so and this is definitely a different game. So I think this is game 3. So we've got. Look at this. This is Sorcerer's Spyglass, pretty much guaranteed to be on Grindstone. But look at what's in Kyler's hand. He just or can you not? He's just gonna do this end of Jordan's turn, I guess, and try to win on his arms draw or whatever.
Is there really any I mean, is there really any danger other than him potentially having artifact removal?
Jordan's a colorless deck. I don't think he can have.
But you can't gun them both down, right?
No. Painter has 3 toughness as well. So here's 3 mana. He's paying an extra for the Lodestone Golem, and he's gonna get rid of Sorcerer's Spyglass. He'll untap, and he should be able to win the game right here. Good old Painter Grindstone win. Upkeep, kill you.
That's polite. He's just gonna play through it. What happens when you have Emrakul in your deck and this happens?
You don't win.
This is just what happens. It's just like you put your deck back. Does it happen once or is it continuous?
So how it works is Grindstone continues hitting everything, right? It's not multiple activations of the card. It's all one activation.
Sure.
So it has to finish resolving before Emrakul's ability can resolve.
Oh.
So the whole deck will go to the graveyard. Emrakul's ability, hits the stack, and then once the whole thing is, the ability will resolve, and you shuffle it all back in.
Yeah.
Yep, it's pretty good. However, most decks in Legacy at the moment are not prepared to play around. Play around mill?
I guess I'll take the Emrakul out of my Grixis sideboard.
I guess.
I don't know how I was going to cast it. I would have to have all 4 Death Rights out, 7 land. I don't think I can.
Nope, you can't.
Nope.
Nope, it's for show and tell. That's what it's there for, and to not lose to mill.
Yeah. I'm just planning on playing all mill in Seattle.
All mill. Yep. I mean, last tournament I watched from Card Kingdom, it made the finals.
Yeah.
It was a Grixis mill deck.
I'm gonna lose that guy, and I'm gonna remember this conversation.
You're gonna lose to that guy, that exact guy.
I'll tell him too. I had a conversation about this.
I knew I was going to lose to you ahead of time.
Alrighty, so here's a fast start.
Yep.
Let's see if we can figure out what Calvin's got. Looks like he kept. Looks like he's got a full 8. Okay, that's a reason to keep a full 8.
Yep, definitely. I think we're gonna see the Searing Blood right here. Just wrecking.
Ooh. Makes me cringe.
It'd have to be Force of Willed, which I think Tyson would be pretty okay with as well.
I think so too. It's a 2/4. Yeah.
Yeah, and they get to attack. That would be nasty. So that or Searing Blaze or Searing Blood doesn't really matter. Those are probably the things that Calvin fears the most.
So he's got in his hand. I can't really tell.
No, there's all right.
There's a Cooligan's Command.
K-Command. If the Deathrite lives, then that could matter a lot, right?
I mean, he's got to have a Force of Will to protect it.
I don't see a Force.
I see a Leovold.
Yeah, I saw Belfast Strix as well.
So he's got stuff. He doesn't have a lot of disruption from what we can tell, except for the Cooligan's Command. Could be really good. Okay.
Yep, Lightning Bolt. All right. As awkward as that is, I think Tyson did that correctly.
Yeah.
You just don't want that to be there.
Yeah. No. Absolutely.
Being able to like in the future gain life and get to Cooligan's Command like this turn. Yeah. It's brutal.
Well, you said earlier, if Leovold seems like to be really important in this matchup. It's going to find Calvin the answers he needs, and if he goes turn 2 Leovold, this matchup becomes a lot different. And just the threat of the Cooligan's Command, the threat of just having 3. I mean,
this is already a huge success for Calvin. Like playing 2 Deathrights, 2-3 damage burn spells have been aimed towards them. He's at 16 and 13 and 3 burn spells have been cast. And there's a creature on the board.
Yeah.
Oh, 10, that's right. But still.
And we know about the Cooligan's Command. Cooligan's Command gets back to Deathright. So now we're just looking for a land.
So land, Cooligan's Command, and Tyson has what? 2 cards left? Lightning Bolt and Price of Progress. Well,
Calvin's getting a swamp or an island here. We know that because he's got an island. There's an island. First thing he picks up.
Yeah. So K-Command. Okay. So yeah, he's not returning, or he's not making Tyson discard, which actually might be really good for Tyson. We'll see. But the fact that there is a creature in the graveyard now, this represents 2 more life.
Keep this in mind though. Look at the lands: Underground Sea, Volcanic Island, Swamp. So you're not getting life from Death right now.
No, you're not.
I don't really like that.
Well, okay, so he has to either get a basic, which he does not have a green basic.
He doesn't.
Right?
So he's getting the Island of the Swamp. We know that 100%.
So he's choosing to play around Price of Progress instead of play to gain life with Deathrite. And we know that Tyson has a Price of Progress. Yeah. This is essentially gaining him 2 life anyway. Zambia, welcome in.
I almost feel like, though, do you just abandon the Deathrite plan, make him discard?
I think I would have made him discard at this point. Okay, Pyrostatic Pillar. This is pretty non-threatening. However, he does know that Deathrite Shaman's there.
Yeah.
Deathrite Shaman's going to come down. There is no green mana, so he's going to lose 2 more life to the Pyrostatic Pillar, go down to 5, and then Price of Progress can pretty much kill him from here. There's a Lightning Bolt in a pop in hand. Yeah, and like, what are you going to do? You're going to Ponder too, right? I actually like this play from Tyson a lot.
I don't even know it. As someone who's in angst right now, as an Underground Sea and Deathrite aficionado myself, I don't know what to do. I'm panicking. None of the streaming stuff is supposed to be easy.
No,
I'm like sitting here like stressed because I can't win the game because I think I'm playing 4-color control.
We try to be unbiased unless you're Bryce. He just can't root for you.
Hey, I'm not rooting for mountains. I'm not rooting for basic mountains. I'm on. If you got an Underground Sea, you're a buddy of mine. Doesn't matter where we are. You can be in Raqqa, Syria, and
as far as commentary goes, usually what it is trying to find ways for the person who is behind to come back into the game.
That's true.
That is so like if you're winning a lot, we're not going to be rooting for you much.
That's true.
That's usually how it works.
I'll just never forget his facial expressions. The time where I was beating Remy, and every time Leopold swung, it was as if like somebody was just putting a knife in him and pulling it out, putting a knife in him and pulling it out. Every time a Delver flip, it would just be like, someone just text him and be like, "Hey, you just got a fee on your checking account." So.
Oh man, we need to get him on camera.
So we got a Pluto Delta in the tropical island. So that's gonna find your tropical island, but I think it's just too late. I don't.
So Tyson's gonna take the 2 from the Pyrostatic Pillar, and here's Deathrite going face, or not? Sorry, Lightning Bolt not going through for Deathrite. He just wants the win here, and he's got a Price of Progress. This is also a win. So Calvin needs to be able to handle Lightning Bolt and Price of Progress all in one turn. Yeah, this is definitely
Clock's
game
at 0.
over.
People have left the gym. The parade's already done. This one's over. Just like, I love Calvin. Calvin, you're sorry. Oh, wait a minute. All right.
Nope.
Well, we still know there's a Price of Progress. Yeah.
All right. Burns gonna take this one.
Sad day for us.
Sad day for the Underground Sea team. All right, let's jump back over to our other match. And look at that. Oh yeah, they finished. We knew that. I totally forgot. Well, welcome to the booth, everybody. Thanks for coming, hanging out with us today. Hopefully,
Beat Burn. What?
I know we've got 16. We've only got 16 minutes to kill before our next round. That's all.
I was rooting for Burn.
Somebody was rooting for Burn.
Yeah.
Oh, Jay Winner.
I don't know how you get a winner in your name.
I can give him a temporary ban.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
It's fine.
It's fine. Like I said, I could never play a deck, but like I would. If somebody told me like, "Hey, I need to play a deck," which I play tonight, Burn's probably fine.
Yes, Tyson, you were. Not only that, but they gave us your name as Travis. I don't know why they gave us your name as Travis. The second I saw people you were playing Burn, I was like, oh, this is Tyson, not Travis.
I think it's a good meta choice, Burn. Just like I said, it's one of those things where, you're right. You run out of gas sometimes.
I was talking to Tyson a little bit about Burn before this, and he goes, "Well, is Burn okay?" And I go, "You're running 4 Price of Progress. You're good.
Yeah, that's
like,
true. Yeah.
You're just good." And then I've talked to a couple other people, and I'm like, like build Burn. Like Burn's cheap, right? If you want to get into Legacy and you want a deck that has a little bit of play to it, Burn's decent. However, I would try it. Like if that's a strategy that you like, I would try to move into Blue Red Delver. Like that.
It's a good deck. Blue Red Delver is a really good deck.
It's a really good deck. Yeah. It has all the Burn elements that like just mono red Burn has. It gets to play with Price of Progress. Yeah. Not only that, but it has you get Brainstorms, Force Wheels, Bedlam Revelers, Bedlam Reveler is a card that I feel like is just severely underplayed.
I agree. Yeah.
It is. I mean, it doesn't fit in a lot, right? Like it is a hard card to put to your deck, but at the same time, the card is insane.
Yeah.
Here's my 2-mana Tarmogoyf level card that draws me 3 cards.
Yeah, absolutely. Good play. And also, Death Right Shaman, like I've said many times before, it's just like the police. That, you know, when he pulls you over and gives you a ticket for going speeding, you hate him and you're like, man, that guy's the worst. But when you're getting mugged at a 7-Eleven, you're like, hey man, where's the police? So don't trash talk Death Right Shaman, because he's a public servant and he serves us all. So
oh, that's all. I had no idea. I had no idea it was a bait.
Grim Lavamancer. I have a love-hate relationship with Grim Lavamancer. All the decks I want to play Grim Lavamancer in, like I play with like Gurmags and Death Rights and stuff like that.
I do not think Grim Lava is underrated though.
It's such an interesting card because like a lot of times you bring him in, like I never feel like he has that big of an impact. Like conceptually he does, right? He's a guy who turns sideways, kills a creature, turns sideways, kills a creature, like, you know, against elves or like, you know, things like that.
DRS does not serve.
You know what? If you're in the building, you shouldn't be, you know,
jumping into chat.
Yeah.
Oh,
I told Paul if he was on stream, I was gonna make up all this fake stuff about him. That he's like a ballroom dancing champion and all these things because I'm trying to get the world to see Paul as proper Paul. Oh, I want him to wear a top hat and just be like this gentleman.
And a cane.
Yeah. And okay. And I think he's just checking that.
He would actually. That would fit him.
Yeah.
I feel like it would work. So, MG Flory says, I agree with the Bedlam Reveler is insane. I would like to see Blue Red Delver run Searing Blaze. Okay, don't get me wrong. Like, the effect of Searing Blaze would look good in that deck.
Yeah.
However, double red is not something you want a lot of in that deck. The only double red card in Blue Red Delver is Bedlam Reveler, and that is not a card you're trying to cast on turn 2. That's not a card you're trying to cast on turn 4. Like that's a card you're casting like turn 6 later, right? Like when are you casting that like earlier than turn 6, maybe turn 5, like here and there. But like,
yeah.
But for real, like, and Searing Blaze is not a card that's like that, right? You don't want Searing Blaze on turn 5, 6, and 7. You want Searing Blaze on turn 2, 3, and 4. So I just don't think it works. I mean, don't get me wrong, the effect would be great.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
There's just too many times where I think you draw it and it's like, you know.
Yeah, a braid is good, but it doesn't deal damage to the face, so it doesn't really work well in that deck. Oh, see, so Paul's not in the building; no. He's smoking.
Sure.
So he's allowed. Sure. He's allowed to be watching the stream.
Sure. That's fine. I guess we'll allow it.
Whatever. But no, and then like once you're in like a Blue Red Delver, right? Then you get to switch to other Delver decks. Yeah. I feel like if you're trying to get into Legacy, that's like the perfect way to like put yourself into.
I guess if you're being economical about it, you know, go get yourself a nice signature loan, put some money on the credit card, just like join the gang, get yourself some underground seats. Like, you know what, pay some interest. You know, it's gonna you'll go far in life if you're willing to tap for blue and black mana off the same land. I can promise you that. Get some polluted deltas, find that land, play the policeman. You know what I mean? You're well on your way. You know, you can choose Delver Secrets, choose Leovold, you know, choose Tombstalker. It doesn't matter. Like, it's all the same club, right?
Right. You could upgrade your playing console, or you could buy a brand new TV, or you could buy a Legacy deck.
See, and Paul says stuff like this. D&T is sweet and cheap.
It's still $1,000. Even with all the reprints that it has had, it is still $1,000.
D&T's an interesting deck. I really like the idea that D&T is a deck, actually. I'm glad it's in the format. I'm glad it's part of the meta game. It's a deck I wouldn't play myself, but see, to me, if I were to tell someone, hey, play a deck to start off with, I would actually say D&T. Yeah, I know it's still expensive, but it's a deck where you got to really learn a lot of interactions with other decks. And like, I think it's a great way to segue to another deck, and Burns true to that to an extent, but like with D&T, like you're attacking mana bases, you're attacking, you know what I mean? So here's I actually disagree, and here's my reasoning. D&T is a deck that you're trying to hate your opponent out. Sure.
Okay. The problem with D&T though is what the deck is doing. you don't often get to see what it is stopping your opponent from doing.
True.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're doing that, if you don't know your opponent's deck well, and you don't know what you're keeping them off of,
That's true.
then I actually don't think that D&T is like a good beginner deck. However, if you're just an experienced player and you know how to get into formats, like you could do it, right? It's not that hard. You just
part of my
go watch
line
some
was,
Legacy.
as a D&T player, I was expecting you to lose the most time, so I figured you would see what they were doing because you'd be like losing. That was like my So I guess in my theory, it was just like you were gonna lose a lot playing D&T.
Well,
and you're like, oh no,
my roommate just built the deck. He actually needs a couple more cards, but he played his first event with the deck.
It's a hard deck to play.
0-4, 0-4.
If because you like Rashad and Port too, right? Like there's times where like, should I do something or should I do Rashad and Port? Like,
when am I supposed to play Port? When am I supposed to play a 2-drop instead?
I guess the real answer to it is like it doesn't matter. Your first Legacy tournament, you're not gonna know what the hell's going on anyway.
No,
so
you're
like
not.
So I guess you're right. You just may as well just hit him shoot him to the dome, right? Send it in.
Like,
yeah.
But even then, like Burn's not all that different, right? Like you get Burn, yeah, it's really cheap, but at the same time, you start off and you just throw Burn spells at people's faces.
Do you know?
Sometimes you win and your opponent did nothing.
My first I think I probably told you this, but my first significant Legacy tournament win. You guess what the deck was?
Delver.
Goblin Charbelcher.
Charbelcher.
Boom. Get him. Please flip that deck. Land grant. Flip it.
Done.
Goblin Churchill comes in.
You don't even care what your opponent does.
Yeah. No,
do you have a Force of Will?
Yeah. The best part is in the finals, I was playing a good buddy of mine, great Magic player, and I think he was so on tilt because he didn't want to lose the Goblin Charbelcher. He forced the wrong thing, and we're all just looking at him, and just after that, just seething song, and you're dead. It's like, yeah. That's how I was born into Legacy. I was born quite in the fire.
Man,
Maybe that's why I hate people who play Blood Moons and Mountains so much, is because secretly I am one.
I was actually really sad because I used to watch the Star City events
Yeah.
pretty religiously. Like every Sunday I was excited to watch Legacy, and I had never been able to play it, and I knew that I was close to being able to build Punishing Jund, which I'm very, very aware that Punishing Jund is not high tier. Okay, like it's a fine deck. It has some really good matchups, but it has a lot of bad matchups. But I always loved the shardless bug decks.
Yeah, I'm bummed I didn't get to play. This is when I quit, yeah.
And that was like my favorite deck to watch. I loved it. And then finally I got to the point where like I could financially like get a Legacy deck.
Yeah.
And the deck is nowhere to be seen. Like I'm a little upset about it, but at the same time it's like, all right, well, I'll play some Jund, or I have most of what I need for 4-color if I wanted to play 4-color, right? Like it's not way different.
Yeah.
But
4-color is interesting because it's weird. I mean, it is a control deck, but it's so mid-rangey, and most of the time you almost want to tap out. Like whenever I think of like control, I always imagine like you got your counter spells, you got some sort of like counter magic that you're holding up. That's actually one reason why sometimes I feel safe playing 4-color control versus Delver. Is just being able to have like permission counters like Daze and Force of Will and Spell Pierce. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bug Standstill, huh? That's your favorite deck. Bug Standstill.
You just like point of like Standstill. You just want to play like a good card and then play Standstill and just hope your opponent didn't do anything in between.
I mean,
like,
yeah.
Name a card you can't play before Standstill that like your opponent's just like whatever. Like I'll just wait till you to break your Standstill.
Probably most things in like a Tezzeret deck.
Yeah, I guess.
Mox
Opal, Standstill. Go.
I don't know.
But then you're probably playing like a Mishra's Factory too. So then you're like, here's my Mishra's Factory. So.
Is Gaia's Cradle on the reserve list? Yes, absolutely. And it pretty much only sees play in Elves. It also sees play as like a one-of in Maverick.
I'm bummed. I wanted to buy the one at the store and I came to buy it and it was gone.
That is sad.
Sad.
We'll get more in. I've been doing lots of sorting. We'll find stuff. I know we have some.
Well, I tell you my garage sale story thing.
No.
I tell you this. Foil Rashadenport. One of my employees goes to a garage sale, finds a box of Magic cards, buys it for me because they know I play Magic, and I'm going through it, mess stuff. You can tell someone picked through like standard stuff. Mm-hmm. Found a Foil Rashadenport.
Just chilling in their stuff.
Yeah, I gave it back to him. I couldn't do it, but like man, I that's one thing I want to do this spring is you will find. I want to just hit some Salt Lake City garage sales.
And just see what you can find.
Yeah, I got Foil Rashadenport. There's a Mercadian Mask. We didn't find an M25 one. Make that perfectly clear, but like Just like, man, I just can't, what else is in people's garage sales right now?
And not only that, but like we know what TCG player is too. So if if their collection is Pokemon, if their collection is something else, we are people who can like just snag those for cheap costs and just go home and filter, and see what they're worth. So also Turbo Depths is a good cheap deck. No, it is not.
It's not bad, is it? Bayou
going up? Yeah, Bayou is like 250, and it's the deck that plays 4 of them.
It's when I think of cheap in Legacy, I think of like $1,200 is. I almost feel like to get in the club you got to pay $1,200.
Yes,
Yeah,
I do know. Yeah, and that deck is much more than that. It's probably closer to 2,000.
I always want to go to like Mississippi or like freaking like Georgia. Like, do they know about Legacy? Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know.
We could do some research. Let's go on a road trip.
There's actually a tournament in like Alabama. I know that. There's like significant the community in Alabama. I do know that. I know the guy who won the last Star City games, the Legacy one, was from like Alabama.
Okay.
So they've got some stuff there. He also played something weird in this Delta list. I don't remember.
I mean, yeah, Utah probably isn't the best place to do it. Any place with like a good, solid Legacy scene probably not the best place, right? But I don't know.
It's gotta be like states that don't know, right? Rhode Island, Rhode Island they probably play Legacy.
Oh yeah, everywhere over there. You had success in North California and in Oregon.
What about like Mexico? You think we can go to Tijuana?
Just be like, hey, any garage sales?
That is. There's nothing that could be less true. Start with 4 underground sea and conquer the world. That's how you start. You know what I mean? So,
I'm still working on that. I only have 2.
When you get your 4th underground sea, it's the feeling of like when you finally made it, right? Like you went to the dealership, you bought the car you wanted. There. Like the girl of your dreams is just like following you around. Like there's nothing that can be better. Like when I play underground sea and I play Deathrite Shaman, everything's all right and again. You know what I mean? That's how it is. I just couldn't be better. Couldn't be better. I mean, when you go like Plains Aether Vial, I just don't know. I don't know. You got bills to pay. Maybe you got a few collections.
Like, what does that even?
I don't know.
What does that even mean?
You're playing a deck that has the word taxes in it. Nobody likes taxes.
Start with the 1 mana, draw 10 cards, win Magic. Start with 1 mana, draw 10.
I guess I could go like Scalding Turn Pass. That's acceptable. That's
fine.
I actually am a big. It's funny because like when I first started playing Delver, like I always felt like, man, you gotta have that turn 1, and now I'm just content to just play Fetch Land Pass.
Let's just hang out for a little while.
Yeah.
Let's play a good round of Magic.
I think it gets to a point when you're finally understanding what tempo is. When you that's when you break the threshold. Because like you always feel like, I think a lot of people when it comes to tempo decks, talking about a tangent, think it's like somewhat of an aggro deck. It's not. It's not. The Bug Delver in Japanese. Top part was Wilson. That's pretty sick. So
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah, what's up?
Here comes.
Brian, come over here.
I will.
Okay.
Chalice of the Void and from Wear Tear.
Ooh.
Is it countered? Because Wear is CMC 1, correct? Chalice on 1.
Yeah.
Wear is CMC 1 on the stack.
When you cast it, it's only Wear. It only looks at the spell in the stack.
The spell is cast.
Yeah. So Wear, when you cast Wear, and it's just 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just like you cut the other part of the card off.
Yeah.
That's how it was explained to me when I was a young man. It's just like when you cast cards like that, pretend like you cut the card off, threw it away, and you're just playing with that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
You can use that analogy too.
But what like when you fuse them, it's obviously 3.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Got it.
You want to grab us like some waters or something?
Water? What else do you guys want?
Oh, can I get? I didn't pay tonight. I don't get my free drink.
No, you do.
Can I get? Oh, give me a protein thing. Give me a protein drink.
Water. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
I love Bug Delver, man. It's another Tombstalker's my hero.
You were playing it for a while.
I love Tombstalker, man.
Did you see Bryce's altar of
it was very very. My dream is to get Spanish Future Sight foil Tombstalkers, and I want Bryce to do something cool with them. Still offended at Bryce that he won't do my Gucci Gang Nemesis. I think he thinks I'm trolling him. I'm not. I really want a gold chain on my true name Nemesis. It's the most gangster card in Legacy. More gangster card, right? You can't touch him. You can't touch him, right?
Can't touch this.
He's got protection from everyone. He comes down. Your opponent generally gets upset. They're just kind of like,
I can't beat that card.
Like you immediately know if they have Diabolic Edict or Toxic Deluge in their deck by their you know,
by the way
just
that
like,
they react.
If they like get ready to try to draw more cards, then you're like, okay, it's in this deck. And if they're just like, and it's like, yeah,
yep,
what do you do? I think, man, I like. I just got my Spanish foil Dazes from Nemesis, and they're, oh man, it's a pretty card.
Why Spanish?
I like Spanish. To be quite honest, I wanted to get Portuguese ones, but they're like 60% more expensive. Like the Spanish days is Pasmar, and being able to Pasmar people, or no, Portuguese is Pasmar. To be able to Pasmar people is way cooler than being able to Offuscar people. Offuscar, like what does that even mean? But I bought the Offuscar ones.
What does that even
Like
mean?
yeah, I mean just like it just. I'm Portuguese. Pasmar. Is that how you say it? Am I saying it right? Days? Because the days is it looks like Pasmar, like in on the days card. I don't know if it's like maybe it's something like maybe it's pronounced differently, but the idea I can't Pasmar people is frustrating.
So do you prefer your cards to be foreign?
I like it a lot. I used to have a lot of foreign cards, and when I gave away my collection or I gave it to my buddies, when I started over, I was just gonna do English, and now I feel like I'm slowly getting back into it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I was quoting it wrong. It's tear. That's 2 mana.
Oh, we know what you meant.
Yeah.
Whatever. YOLO.
Sorry.
So drink your protein, kids. You'll be like, I don't know. Who you'll be like? Hulk Hogan. Gotta shake it. Shaking the protein in the stream. This is a new low for us. Don't say the. Oh, okay. So. Don't say the Z. How do you say Pasmar without the Z? So Pamar? It's Pamar? Oh, that's not cool. I don't want to Pamar people. Yeah, okay. That makes you feel better. Oh, Pamar? Pamar?
We've got. We should be getting pairings up here pretty soon.
Oh, Pasmar. Pasmar. Gotcha. Pasmar. Makes sense. Pasmar sounds way cool too. I wish I could Pasmar people. I've actually got one of my California buddies who wants to come to the store probably after the GP. When you see his deck, you're just gonna be like, how does a human being spend so much or have this much money in Magic? He's got almost all black border duels. He's always lightning bolts. He runs 2 lightning bolts, or the misprinted foil ones that don't have any text on it, which are like $500. He runs summer basics, and the worst kid, he's a just like a mean Asian guy who went to Yale Law School, like it's the worst. So, but he's got a pretty Magic deck. So, oh, Pasmar, I can Pasmar people. Darn it. I will Offuscar people or Offuscar people in Seattle.
I always like the Korean cards. I think the language looks really pretty.
I like to butcher the language a little bit, like when you're playing people to confuse them. I like to like say the words. Like I like to just be like, like Spectoroso de Caligatos, and they're like, what? I'm like, Tombstalker.
You're like, dude, I'm just casting a card.
Yeah.
You know what it does.
I feel like I'm in a Harry Potter movie. Like, Pasmar, Offuscar. Like yeah. I'm a wizard. I'm a wizard, Harry. We're all planeswalkers, anyways, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Well, that was
Maybe.
a trip. When I first played my first competitive tournament after getting back into Magic, and I cast my Search for Azcanta, and I said, kill your Search for Azcanta. And the guy's like, what? And I was like, legendary roll, bro. And they're like, that doesn't work that way anymore. We're both planeswalkers. I said, I'm not a planeswalker, man. I'm a human being. And the judge came over and he's like, no, they don't both die. And I was just like, what do you mean? It's legendary. I don't even want to try. Oh, who we got? Okay, so we don't want to watch table 1 because that's Painter versus Burn, right?
Yeah.
We got Paul versus Brain.
Brain. Yeah. So that's got to be Paul versus Brian.
The Brain. That card sounds cool. Investigator. It sounds like it's a little racist. I can say the word racist. I can't just be racist on Twitch, right?
Okay, so it's not Tyson. It is Travis Russell.
So we got Paul versus Brian. So that's going to be 50 minutes of me complaining about Life of the Lump. Wouldn't be too bad. Oh, really? That's sick. And I'm gonna get myself some Spanish Delvers.
Spanish Delvers.
That's one of my goals for Seattle is to try to get as many Spanish cards as possible. I'll probably pick up Portuguese too, because let's be real, like the people I play with won't know the difference, so I'll just kind of fool them. So,
like two Spanish, 2 Portuguese.
yeah, I mean, let's be real, guys. Like when I go to like bars and stuff, I pull out my Magic cards and show them to girls. Like, and I'm like, hey, check this out. You want to see some foil Spanish Delvers?
Well, if you didn't, then how would they know?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, let's see what's going on here. Yeah, that is totally Tyson.
I certainly can.
Any Painter today? We have Painter on camera.
Oh,
They'll be. They'll
Yeah,
be. Yeah,
they'll
you just
won.
missed. You just missed it. They'll be our backup match again, I believe. Or no? Do you want to? Well, it's Painter versus Burn and Lands versus Food Chain. I think Lands versus Food Chain would be a little
Oh, is
more
it
exciting.
Brian? Yeah, it could be.
I'm pretty sure. I think they have his name wrong in the system right now.
Keep rebuying custom name. Keep curling. I don't think they do. The curling foil thing is. How do you know? Do you know how Brainstorm is? No, you don't. What's Brainstorm?
Drake, we didn't see a ton of it. They were our backup match, so.
You know the foil thing that comes close to my heart because like I have a lot of foils and like there's like a period where you start to see the curl and like starts to give me anxiety too because like it's a lot of, like unfoil leawables and stuff like that. The best thing, and it like sucks, it's not a real solution. I heard it's just like you get the old cinder block brick and you stick it on the card. Like I don't think there's a better solution. I've heard like rumors of like weird microwave and freezing stuff, and I don't want to test that out.
No way.
Yeah. How bad is it curling? Oh, look at that. Tempestad's Reeds. Oh, see, honestly, I'm gonna have to try to not have like hot girls following me around in Paragon City games because there's so many. You have no idea, right? Like if once I start playing with these cards, like it's gonna be too hard. I won't be able to stream. I won't be able to play. These cards are too cool. This is my goal. My GP Seattle goal is find Spanish and Portuguese cards. Yeah, I would say for the Kess thing, I don't think there's anything you can do. It sucks. I really don't know. Yeah, I actually heard that works. Yeah. I heard good stuff about that. It's the don't eat packets.
You put them in your box, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I keep them in my boxes.
I've heard actually really good stuff from a lot of people. My buddy actually told me that. My Yale buddy. You know, the sad part is he's probably going to get super excited. I mentioned him like twice in this stupid thing. He's actually been watching our stream recently too. This is usually the text I get. I'll get a text at 1 o'clock in the morning. Watch the stream, saw you play. You played like crap. He didn't say crap. And he said like, get better at Magic, loser. And I just like, I 4-0'd. And he just like will say that, so.
He doesn't want you to get a big head about it. That's it. He wants to humble you down.
Doesn't matter. We're actually playing for $1,000 in Seattle. We have a $1,000 bet. We're gonna do out of 7. Yeah, Deskin packs. It's a tough thing. It's frustrating because like the whole Kess thing, like when it comes to like cutting and things like that. And one of my biggest fear is having one of my foil cards like do the bend and then someone calling a judge. So I get your pain on that one. I don't know the real solution. Just I don't know, do the best you can and hope one day they make a better version of the card, which they should.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because someone in Wizard should really. It's not that hard to reprint that card in the set, right? So we have the greatest play in Magic, Underground Sea Deathrite Shaman, versus the most just I don't know,
ridiculous play in Magic.
Nothing in like said Agalum's secret like fetish deck. So Mox Diamond Taiga.
Yeah, but we can't get him to play Agrolum though. He'll just play lands. That's all he'll play. He played Steel Stompy. Like one time. I was there.
Mine's just another deck. It's a deck where it's like you got to be a special type of person to play it. I mean, it's a great deck. It's a good deck, and there's certain things to it that are difficult. There's not, absolutely, but like there's just certain things about it I just couldn't do. Like it just kind of seems like you're always kind of like I don't know.
Did he just Pachuca Bog himself?
He did.
Why?
Because he didn't want Deathrite to eat his land. I was hoping that Brian maybe didn't have a clue.
Oh, okay.
Because he was thinking maybe if Brian didn't lead with fetch land.
Okay.
So.
And he just doesn't have that. That kind of shows that he doesn't have the loam though, right? Like.
Correct.
Yeah.
He's got a crop rotation in hand though, and a grove of ruin.
Yes. And here we've got to manipulate fate. This is gonna find 2 Mishal Griffins and an Eternal Scourge, and of course Brian has all of Bryce's gorgeous altars.
You know, look at the fate. That's another thing too. Like I'm programmed in my brain to counter manipulate fate, and I'm just like, somebody counter that. Somebody counter it. I forget.
Nope. Brian just casts it, and Paul goes, "Do your worst." Yeah. Yep. That's how it works.
That card's a great card. What is it technically? Like a 3-for-1.
Oh, it's a 4. Because you get the 3, you get the 3 into exile, and it says draw a card on it.
Oh, I heard it.
It's and it pitches the Force of Will, like, and so does the Mishal Griffin.
Thankfully, it's a sorcery. It's not as
Yeah.
ridiculous as predict, because predict's an instant. Predict to me is a 1. You get rid of your garbage card, so that counts as 1 in my opinion. And draw 2 cards at your end step, so you're basically 3-for-1ing, and then you get your draw step.
Yeah, it's super good. All right, here's a crop rotation, and we'll probably see one of the combo lands, right? This is either that or he'll go for Tabernacle.
See, so Deathrite's yeah.
But I don't know if that matters a lot.
I think
he if depending on what his hand is, if he doesn't have like another combo part, he has to get Tabernacle.
Absolutely, he's on his back foot already too, right? Because punishing fire is not going to be great because he's got 2 Deathrite Shamans. He doesn't have the loam. We already know that. Brian casts a pretty good card, maybe the Fate. So like, there's a danger sense now, right? So Paul needs to somehow stop what Brian's doing, and one way to do that right now is to slow it down as Tabernacle. So I think you're right. I don't think. That's not a good 2-grow.
Yeah, I don't think he can do anything else. Not only that, but like doing this makes it so Brian cannot combo off this turn, which Brian wants to pump out his combo as fast as possible against lands. You do not want to mess around. So he draws Food Chain. There it is. There's a Food Chain, right? Like if he had a trinket mage or a ballista, he would have won right now. So here's the polluted delta, and I'd imagine he's just going to get this Food Chain into play. Does he?
I don't think he does. No, because I think he's only got the polluted delta and the polluted now.
There's the Pachuca Bog that got thrown by the crop rot. So there should be 2 lands to throw here.
You're right.
Get Food Chain into play, and then next turn you just pay for your death rights again and just go off. So Paul's absolutely on the back foot. It looks like he's got a Grove. I saw a Dark Depths. I'm not sure what the other card is, but he doesn't have multiple land drops in this in the turn. So he really was relying on this Tabernacle a lot more than he would like to.
You know what Paul would really like right now? A Brainstorm.
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
Cheers to that, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe, don't tell me Brainstorm's not the greatest card ever made.
Could you imagine like seeing some lands deck be like Brainstorm? Best dual combination ever. Okay, so does he have it right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so
he's not. He's. Where is Death Rights?
He exiled them to.
Food Chain. I guess he's just gonna say, "I'm just gonna beat you down," and I think that's fine. That's probably right, actually, right?
Yep.
Gonna get him. Let's just go get him. What's Paul gonna do? There's a Thespian stage, and but these guys are flying. I think
the Dark Depths or Merit Lage cannot beat Mishal Griffin. So keep in mind, every single time he goes attack, and then he goes sack, play.
That. Yeah.
So they have pseudo vigilance, right?
Yeah.
And you can throw them in front of the 20/20, and then like once you're in the blocker step, you just exile it to Food Chain, and then next turn you just get infinite mana and play it again.
That's true. Yeah, I forget about that with Food Chain.
So here's a bunch of creatures. He has infinite mana for creatures.
He has Winds of Faith. Yeah.
And a Relic of Progenitus. So
let's go to the 15.
Yeah, easy. I think that was a pretty easy victory for Brian.
Paul's hand just didn't seem that great.
No.
Well, maybe it just didn't have the combo. maybe drew into it.
Well, he could have. He had Dark Depths. He had Crop Rot.
He had Thespian stage out.
Did he? I think that was his draw for that turn.
Yeah.
But even then, like, he wasn't far away from it.
I guess he had the crop rotation, and
he probably could have had it about as early as you can get it without an exploration, right?
yeah. But I wonder what he was thinking with that hand, because he knows what Brian's playing. You know, what is his kind of goal?
Brian is playing a combo deck in this matchup, like, so we're gonna see some things that mess with that. However, a lot of times lands, the thing that they play to mess with that is something like Thorn of Amethyst and like Trinisphere. Those cards do not interact with the food chain combo at all.
Well, yeah,
they're all creatures, and not only that, but everything costs 3 or more mana anyway. Yeah. So I'm not sure exactly.
I think Paul just boards in as if he's a bug deck, right?
I mean, he has Crossing Grips.
Yeah,
he's gonna try to mess with.
But he still probably wants to bring in like his drop of honey and stuff like that, right?
Maybe. I'm not really sure because I think Brian knows that he's never going to win by just like sitting there and attacking. I mean, he did that game, but that was pre-board, and I think Paul is going to make sure that Glacial Chasm's something that he can have access to. That way, he's not just losing to a couple Griffins attacking.
Sure. What's our other match?
Oh yeah, let's take a look.
Especially
this is how it always is. Always. Get used to it.
Yeah. I can't even tell what's going on. There's a red stuff. There's a blood moon.
Oh, maybe this is Travis. I'm not sure.
Who knows?
I'm so confused with the whole Tyson.
You know what?
Travis
the viewers
thing.
at home don't care if it's Travis or Tyson.
I do.
They just want to see some good old magic. Man, I'm confused now.
I am too. See, I can't even spell Kyler. I'm so used to my own name.
This is actually a good question. I probably want to know the answer too. So if you're not doing any main events, how many side events can you play? Is it like unlimited? You just like go ham?
Oh yeah, you can go crazy.
You can go ham.
Not only that, but like there are special like bracelets that you can get that make it so you pay like $150 or like $200 or something like that, and you can play in as many as you can possibly get yourself into. Like you can jump in one, lose your first round, and be like, oh well, I'll jump into another one.
Huh.
Like just quit right there, jump into another one. I don't know if Seattle's going to have that. I haven't looked into it because I'm going to be playing main event, but side events are fantastic. Not only that, but like you don't have that competitive aspect, right? Where everybody's like trying to like fish out wins. They're playing the deck that they love because they want to play it, and they're playing against a bunch of people that they don't know. And the Legacy community is like easily like the most friendly community that Magic has. So every side event I've done at a GP for Legacy have been like the most enjoyable experiences. I've also won a lot, but nobody ever expects Jumped.
That's true. When Tim played me and I was playing Delver, I was a little bit nervous. When we had 3 Turmogoyfs, I'm like, I better do something.
I played one side event when I was in Phoenix, and I 3-0'd it nice and easy. So and then I was surprised too because I played against Doomsday, which is very similar to Storm, which is like easily my worst matchup.
Yeah.
And I was able to get there. But
that's the one thing about Legacy. You forget sometimes you just run into the weird decks. You know?
Yeah, I played against Enchantress, Doomsday, Infect.
Oh, that's weird.
Right?
It's weird. It's so weird because like when I play against those decks, I kind of get like mad at myself in my head because I'm like, I don't want to play against decks. I don't know why, but I prefer Grixis, Delver, Mirrors all day long. I don't know why. I just like I want to play that. I want to play 4-color control. I want to play Miracles. Like let's I don't know why. It's kind of weird.
It's for Grand Prix Vegas. Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't really looked into Grand Prix Vegas a lot. And it's funny that you mentioned that because I actually don't think I will be playing in the main event in Vegas. I think I'm going to be doing Legacy side events all weekend long. So I'll probably end up looking into that as well, MG Flurry. All right, we've got some openers. Looks like everybody's keeping.
Yeah, Brian's got Brainstorm and a bunch of blue cards and lands.
That's all that matters.
We call Snap Keep.
Yep. And then Paul, all I know is he's got, this fetch land, a Dark Depths, and what else? Side events for Vegas aren't up yet. Yeah, that's not surprising. It's not till June, right? That's the problem. It's like whenever I go to Vegas, it's like, okay, do I want to play in a bunch of side events, or do I like want to go out and do stuff?
See, my theory on Vegas, and keep in mind the last tournament I went to in Vegas was actually a Versus system tournament back in probably 2009 in Vegas. Was you play in side events, and then you intermit, you come back and you play a side event, then you leave, you go do some stuff, you come back. And I like doing that. I'll tell you one thing, I did worse in the side events later in the day. I don't know why. Because
Because you drink more.
probably.
I just remember. So who's usually here sitting with me is Matt, and like one of his first time going to Legacy or going to Vegas for what is it, like a Modern Masters 1 or whatever, and he said that he played the entire day one of his event like still drunk from the night before, and he says there's no better way to play Magic.
Maybe.
He also said he did well, so he doesn't know how, but it's just the way that it happens. Les, yeah, I know. You just go play poker. I know.
I want to be playing a card game. I don't want to play more card games.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, see, Les plays poker for a living, right? Mm. And then in his spare time while in Vegas, instead of just playing some more Magic or something, he just wants to go and play
it's
more
probably
poker.
like he enjoys it. That makes sense. I don't really enjoy it. I really could be doing unscrupulous things.
All right, so we had a gamble. Well, what did we get? Life from the Loam, probably.
Blue Delta Pass, one of my famed. I should have 5 things like what makes you a great Magic player. Blue Delta Pass is another one. Sculling Turn Pass is one of them. Unfortunately, Mox Diamond Taiga didn't make the cut.
Dang it.
Life from the Loam. Yeah, this is one of those lands hands where you're just,
Yep. So it's going to target Dark Depths and Windswept Heath, and we've got Brian with a Brainstorm. We'll see if he has like a force for this
What did he think? There's a Talus Tracker. Did he lose a Talus Tracker to the Gamble?
Yeah, he did. That's actually like one of the best things Brian could have, that could have happened for Brian.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But we'll see if there's actually a surgical extraction. Brian's sideboard is pretty heavy on combo right now, and because of that, he will have a lot of things that interact with the graveyard. So we'll see if he actually. Oh, is that a surgical right there?
Looked like one of those Buy-Box ones.
Yeah, it is a surgical. So he probably is planning to force this and surgical. Yeah. Oh man, and he has the Miss Hollow Griffin to pitch. So this is just all value. Gosh. And end of turn we've got the surgical. There is no mana up for Paul. So even if he had something like a Tranquil Thicket or a Shelter Thicket.
So what has he got there? He's got a Crozen Grip and the other card
and
is...
a Growth of Birdwillow.
Yeah.
So
man, this is not looking good.
No, this is.
This is turn 1. So because Brian's going Island. So I mean, Paul's got time. I mean, that's the thing with this deck is like a Thespian stage all of a sudden just
Thespian stage crop rot. And this game could be over in the next 2 turns.
Yeah, that's trust me, I've lost many a times after surgically in Life Alone with them no cards in hand.
Yep.
So,
but this is a good. This is like obviously for Brian.
This is where I want to be.
Amazing.
If I'm in this position,
there's no better place.
Go get the fat lady because we're singing soon.
Yeah,
that's what I would say. So,
Baleful Strix.
Yeah, I mean, take that Merit Lage. Now you got to get through a stupid bird.
Yep. So. Yeah, that actually is a pretty good play from Brian as well.
Well, maybe it gets Crozen Grip, but still, I mean, like I'm okay with that too.
Yeah. Well, that's one less. That's about the same clock actually.
Yeah.
Tapping out to Crozen Grip.
Crop
there's crop rotation.
Oh, look at that. So, look at land that's drawing. We don't need Brainstorm in our deck. We just draw whatever we need.
We just draw whatever we need off the top. It reminds me of Bryce talking about your Delvers.
Yeah. It's interesting. Like,
I play Delver. My Delvers just flip.
Yeah.
I don't have to set them up. They just flip.
There's been so many times. There's been so many times against like Josh and Corey will like Josh with the Mass Spec. If you're like not like, are you missing your Delver triggers? And I was like, no, I'm not missing the Delver triggers.
All right. Well, here he goes. So he gets to crop rot probably now, Go get Thespian Stage and Cross and Grip this this Stealthful Strix.
Does Infernal Scourge have flying?
No. No, however, he can start playing the Missile Grip and starting next turn, and he's thawing it. Oh no, he's just making it right now. Okay. This is like a little strange to me. Like, why?
I guess if he gets another land, he just, I guess in the end you're attacking anyway. It's not like your guy can die.
Okay. Oh no, this is way better. Yeah, this is way better. Yeah, just get the 2020 now. If you top deck a land, which the deck is full of, then you just get a Cross and Grip and win.
He's got, what does he have in his hand? Do we know?
Cross and Grip. That's it. Brian?
Oh, Wasteland. Of course. Like, look. Of course he draws the land, right? Of course. Yeah, of course. This is terrible.
He literally top decked.
It's like, like, and then you got lands players. Ban Deathright, ban Deathright, ban Deathright. Like, yeah. Like, let's ban that. Why don't we ban just ripping every single card you need? That's a problem. That's a problem, America.
You're not allowed to rip the cards you need ever. All right, let's take a look at what's going on over here.
I get a scry at least 2 of your draw steps. That's the way I look at it. Goblin Welder. Unfortunately, not going to do much welding. Dead. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. You win that one. You also had to draw the crop rotation. I mean, okay. And it's frustrating. You get your life for a loam surgical. I get it. Lands is a great deck. I get it. Made a good play, and it's got a lot of land, so to draw a land isn't too hard to ask for. I get it. Yeah, probably, maybe. That's actually a good point. But every lands player I talk to wants to ban Deathright Shaman, so I agree with you. They should, right? They should support the police. Yeah, but lands players generally just hate people in general because they play lands. So generally, they just want other people not to have fun. I mean, it's not rocket science. Like, what you're saying is correct. They should want Deathright Shaman, but you know what I mean. It's true. They're the type of people who tell Chick-fil-A people, "I'm glad you're closed on Sundays," because I'm sure as hell not.
I never am as well. I don't know why anything's closed on Sunday, but we live in Utah, so everything is.
Chick-fil-A, so good, and you always want it on Sunday because, like.
Oh, wow. So Destructive Revelry, just cleaning things up. I still just have no idea who this is.
He's mopping people up.
If it's Tyson or if it's Travis, it's one of those two people. I'm not sure.
All burned. Well, we showed you Painter. We gave the people what they wanted.
That was Painter. That was as much Painter as you're gonna get. We still have a game 3 over here, so.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, let's see, is something is going. He deserves to go. I mean, I don't want to get this into a Deathright discussion, but Deathright deserves to go for sure.
I think it would shake up the format in a way that Wizards would be okay with. It is Travis less. Okay.
I just don't think we're ready yet. We'll give Deathright some more time. I'm actually on the ban probe camp, which is interesting.
Too. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind starting with banning probe and seeing how that goes.
Like Deathright, don't get me wrong, it is incredible, right? But so is Brainstorm. I honestly think that those two cards are the best two cards in Legacy. And with that said, I think that those two cards are the cards that make Legacy what it is. Not I don't think they're necessarily problems.
Delver is a hard deck to adapt against.
It is.
I like the ban probe thing. Yeah, I like that. I think we can start there. I like Grixis Delver as a deck, and I understand it's a little too good right now, and that's so true. And the reason why I play the deck is because it's so true. But like, it's one of those things where like, what makes the deck? There's certain aspects that are unfair about the deck. There's an angle problem because being able to have like Gurmags and True Names, but like that's great. That's what makes the deck great. That's why Lands is great because you have Punishing Fire, you have Tavern. I mean, but like, what are the cards that kind of make it like? And paying 2 life to draw a card and see someone's hand full of information and being able to tilt the game that way, I think that's really, really powerful.
You know what though?
Yeah. Like make him run Thoughtseize, right? Make him run that. Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, all the reasons that they banned that card in Modern, all the same reasons apply to Legacy.
Absolutely.
So, and yes, Legacy has more cards, blah 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 blah, but you know, like, let it be a part of the format. I think it is the same problem, you know, and if that's how you feel about your Modern format and you don't want that to be a part of Modern, then it's kind of surprising that you're okay with it in Legacy as well.
There's like, and also there's like a mystique about Legacy. I know this is kind of a weird argument, and like I said, it's kind of a weird one, but like there's a mystique of your deck in Legacy, right? Where it's just like, it's your own deck, you have like your own style, you have your own, maybe even a different sort of meta deck, right? Maybe you're playing an old Stoneblade version, maybe you're playing a weird Maverick deck, and like immediately me being able to probe you turn one, and like your mystique's gone, I'm like, now I know how to attack you. I'm gonna cut you off here and here and here. Like, that's the part about Legacy where it's just like it's cool because like you're entering the unknown. Like, you have all these cards from all these different sets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like that's why I want Pro Ban, because it's just like there's a mystiqueness about Legacy where it's just like you can bring your pet deck, you can bring the deck you know best, and your opponent doesn't know what's in your deck, and you can beat them.
Yep.
But then when your Grixis Delver player, probes you, then all of a sudden it's all of a sudden gone. And
Storm gets to do the same thing, you know.
Yeah.
Like, there are a lot of decks that play probe, and they don't even necessarily need to be playing blue.
Yeah.
Right? They just go, okay, can I go off? No, I can't go off. Like, wait a turn, or wait 2 turns, or whatever. And then there are other times where it's like,
Storm
okay,
was a deck before probe. Keep that in mind. It had duresses. It ran.
Storm would not die without probe. They play duresses.
Yeah.
They play Thoughtseize in their deck. They play therapy.
Yeah.
They're just fine. But they would not be mad if they lost that card. Well, they'd be like a little upset. But.
When my Jerk Yale buddy plays Grixis Delver, he only runs 2 probes. You know why? Because he says he already knows what's in their hand. What a loser, right? Gosh. Yeah, people like that, That's too. Hey, that's a little too old. First of all, I was like 5 years old when that happened, so I don't want to go too old school. But like,
I was like 3.
People always talk about this weird golden age of Legacy, but like, I generally, I think Magic just fun. So is this?
That was it.
Oh, he murdered. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So lands won because they Thespian staged. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, I'll make you a deal, Lands players. Let's ban Deathrite Shaman, and we can ban Thespian Stage and Life from the Loam.
Just ban Life from the Loam. That's the only thing. That needs to
I'm
be
actually traumatized from Life from the Loam. In my first Legacy tournament with a real deck, I was running blue-white tempo. I played this guy who didn't speak very well, and all he would say is Loam, Loam, Loam. And ever since then, ever since I see Life from the Loam,
it's just in your head.
Yeah. That'd be interesting. That'd actually be kind of cool to see. It's like 93, 94. Is that like during the days of like Mark Justice and Mike Long and like
I think so.
That like Wild West. I wish I could play it. I would lap some like Searing Bloods and stuff like that. Not Searing Blood. What's that? Searing Flesh. I would keep a Searing Flesh like under my seat, so I would just like rip it like that. Boom, you're dead. That's what I would do. And no one
accidentally drop cards, pull them out from your sleeve.
What did that guy just do?
Back in the day when cheating was dealt with like a little slap on your hand.
I love the stories of them catching like Mike Long cheating and asking about or Danny Williams cheating and asking about the bends in his cards, and if they're marked and he admits to it, and they just let him go get new cards and keep playing. Like, I love that. Like, hey, why not? Like, hey, way to be
it's fun,
creative,
it's fun.
Right?
They act like it's like a sport, right? It's like okay, like 6 fouls and you foul out, all right?
Yeah, so it's gonna be okay. There's sometimes they get a little too extreme. Like, there's some like instances you hear about like the whole like, it's like the infamous Craig Wesco story with like, remember that you hear that one where the guy bets his buddy $10 you're gonna lose your winning match. Craig Wesco raises his hand and says, "Hey, they're like," and the guy got DQ'd for it because technically he was betting on Magic.
Oh my goodness,
Stuff like that.
So I sat down with a local from Utah, and I actually got paired up against him in Phoenix round 4, and he was talking to me, and I guess in his like 3rd round, so the round before, he got called, over to the judge's place, and they were like, yeah, so your friend let us know that you were in on like a $100 bet about blah 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 about your matches today. And he goes, no, there is no bet.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh.
But like, man, like you can't you bet on your tournament at all. Like
I don't. That's
I
the
bet
one
you
thing.
$100 that blah 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 blah. You can't do this on day one. It's like, nope, you cannot do that.
Listen, I respect Magic judges, and I expect that they give away their free time to do something that I wouldn't want to do. But like sometimes it's just like, have a little bit of empathy, and it's hard to say, and I get it, but like. You're also talking to someone who works in the financial industry who thinks we should cut all the regulations and I should just be able to do whatever the heck I want. And heck, the Fair Lending Act's a joke. But like it's so obviously I'm a different sort of person when it comes to that. But there's some times where it's just common sense, right? It's just like the guy's making a joke, and we should be able to see that. And the thing is, most of the time when there is foul play, it's really painfully obvious.
Yes.
It's like the infamous Saito cut. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're a pro player. This isn't hard. Here's you leaving the tournament, right?
Yeah.
But there's sometimes, yeah, I agree with that. It's just like I would deregulate it, and it's kind of like regulating things by deregulation, just like
Man, I've even had problems like personally
Yeah.
with like like top 8 cuts in PPTQs. These are like local events.
Yeah.
In my opinion, these events are like FNM to me. Okay, they're like no different, and except for people take them way more seriously because they're ridiculous. But I had one time where the word I used the word compensation, not in a way that I meant like, hey, after I want compensation. It wasn't like that. I was like, no, I want to do a split, and I want to do it legally. Like, judge, what can I do to split in the finals with my opponent? But like I used the word compensation, and the guy looks at me like whoa, what did you just say? And I'm like, I'm not trying to be sketchy. Like I just want the split to work, and I want it to be legal. Man, I felt like awful afterwards, and I found out that like I didn't say anything wrong.
I only ever got in trouble once with something like this, and it was back in California, 2010. PTQ was playing Doomblade. That was the version of Cobblade with Black. It was doing pretty good. Got pared down, simple. Hey, this is one of those things where like the guy's gonna scoop to me, not rocket science, right? I'll compensate. I'm like, hey, when it's getting rocket science, guy like won't scoop to me, and I managed to lose the thing. And I got in trouble because I said some mean things to the guy, and the judge came by and he reprimanded me. So, yeah.
Right, exactly, MG Fleur. What's the right way to say it? Like, what am I supposed to do? Seriously, if you are in that scenario and you don't know exactly how to speak with your opponent about it, and right, because I didn't. Like, I never go play PPTQs. I don't play high competitive very often. I'm a legacy player. There aren't a lot of high competitive tournaments to play in, and really my only answer to that is talk to the judge. Just be like, hey judge, I would like to split things with my opponent. Can you please tell us what the options are?
I think that's fine. Yeah, why not just make them more involved in the process? Be
right.
Like, hey,
just involve the judge in the process. They're not going to let you do it wrong if you involve them.
Yeah.
Right. So.
And you should, and if you get the judge, and if you say it wrong, and if you're doing something that's wrong, they shouldn't penalize you for it. They should just be like, hey, listen, you guys would be ejected for this.
Yeah.
If you did it as structured, I would recommend this. Hey, that's great. Also, if you're a judge, I also think you should be somewhat of an advisor when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean that's another thing is like judges are there to like help. Right?
Yeah.
That's like actually why
they're like death threat shaman, right? They're like policemen.
Yes.
Yeah, they're trying to see, look at that.
Judges
you guys
want
to ban all the judges?
And there are absolutely moments when like I feel like there is something that's happened where I don't feel like I should be penalized.
Yeah. Or
I don't feel like they should be mad at me or like belittling me, And I don't know, but it probably has more to do with the specific judge than like judges in general. So
I think we have a persona of a Magic judge that we can all think of right in our minds of the guy who takes his shirt a little bit too seriously.
Yep.
And it's one thing I wish judges realize this, and this is kind of my mantra. One thing I'm proud of myself is going to sell you guys myself for a second. When it comes to the way I do business, when it comes to being in finance and stuff like that. Is just like I take stewardship pretty seriously.
Okay.
And I almost feel like what maybe Wizards should look into making stewardship one of their core values because they're here to serve the players. Yeah, look at that.
Whoa.
Somebody pay me $20,000 right now because I just consulted Wizards. Yeah. Thinking of that core value stuff. That's a big thing in corporate America right now. Is you want your core value. You want to live your core values. I think it's. I get some running. I should not be saying this stuff on stream. There's a few people who pay me money who are like, "Why do you not think core values are right?" Yeah, you do have to be careful with your words.
Exactly.
But I'm saying that you should be able to feel safe with the words you use, and you should feel supported.
And I agree. Yeah. So that's basically what happened to me, Andy Prime, is like I use the word compensation. Okay, like I understand like looking back at what happened that may have been the wrong word to use, but at the same time, like when you're doing some weird prize split, right, where like some person's getting, you know, like a lot of the product and the other person's getting, you know, the invite to the PTQ or whatever, when you do a prize split like that, I mean, like it is compensation. That is actually what it is. If you want one side of that, then you are compensating, like regardless. So like, oh man, it's so ridiculous. In poker you can openly talk about splits.
I think you should too. I really do.
I think you should be able to.
I mean, is the sacredness that like we're not okay with like the best player making it to the end? Who cares? Yeah. Like who cares, man? Like at the end of the day, like listen, I don't know. It's a tough situation for me. I've got a different persona about how I play Magic when I did before, which is interesting. You know, I think it's maybe better, ironically, right? But like, I guess if you're different and maybe you've got more on the line, whether it's money or maybe it's a pride thing. You know, I guess right now, if you say, hey, Terry, you're a crappy Magic player, I can be like, well, I'm better than you at this. Got more money in my 401k, sucker. Like, I don't know. But, like, it's just, I don't know. It's one of those things where I wish they would just, they're old school stories of judges falling. Yeah, no, 100%. When I used to play Versus System, we used to play at the Costa Mesa Women's Club, and there was a bathroom. And like I remember there's one time where a judge followed these two guys into the bathroom, caught them talking about splitting him, DQ'd them both.
The thing, okay, and this is another thing, okay. So I'm not saying that like doing like shady deals, right, is a good thing, because I don't think it's a good thing. But at the same time, it is not the judge's responsibility to find and get these people, right? Like the judge is there to keep things regulated. Like you shouldn't be following people anywhere. You shouldn't be trying to get them. Thing.
If you follow me to the bathroom and you accuse me of cheating in the bathroom, you're getting an elbow straight to the freaking noggin. I'm gonna put freaking one of these into you, like, and then no one's gonna know what happened to you. I tell you one thing: don't follow me in the bathroom unless you're one of the following three people: Blake Lively.
Make sure you get your list right. This is really important.
I'm kind of Blake Lively. I like that one chick who sings that song about Havana. She's Cuban. Camilla, yeah, she's all right. I'm all right with that. And you know what? I want to be diverse and I want to be progressive, so I'm gonna throw in a ethnic one for you guys. One of those chicks from Black Panther. One of those three. Send them in the bathroom. I'll meet them. I'll get the work done. Don't send a magic judge. Absolutely not. Yeah, unless they're one of the following three people. I tell you one thing: if freaking Blake Lively walked in the thing in a judge uniform and told me I was a bad boy for prize splitting, you know what? I may be okay with that. So, Blake Lively.
I'm not sure. MG Flurry, like you could do a lot of different things, but really when it comes down to it, if you don't want to get in trouble, right, and you don't know the right way to do it, like just right, just talk to the judge. Like they are there to help. Like they should right. They shouldn't be all like I said weird about it.
It's about stewardship. That's the word for the day. Is stewardship. Max judges should practice stewardship.
Yeah. But like even in my scenario, I didn't get DQ'd, right? Like we split and everything was okay, and I was really glad that the judge like understood and was like willing to work with me about it.
Yeah.
But like he got so upset that I used that, the word compensation, that like I walked out of there feeling awful, because I hadn't, right, like I was in the moment, everybody's like, whoa, like, oh man, like you should be DQ'd or whatever, and I'm going like, I have no idea what I did wrong, Okay, like I had literally never been in that scenario before. Never, not once. Okay, like usually if I'm in the finals, I'm trying to win. So it was odd that I did want a split, and I was happy that the judge at least was like, okay, you can't say stuff like that. You know, I'm not giving like this is like just warning you, right? Like work out a split, and that's when my opponent and I were like, okay, well help us with the split then, right? Like because we don't want to be shady. That's not what we're trying to do here. Right, it is feel bad, and that's exactly what I mean. Is like, I am not a player who appreciates cheating in any way, right? Like I am very very much a person who wants to do things by the rules. That's like I don't like doing things like that.
I can only think of one time I've cheated. I fetched a Sword of Body in mine with a March Flats, but I really didn't want to lose.
Sword of
Body. It was my buddy. It was my buddy. It was an FNM, and you know what? You would have wanted me to do it too. So that's it.
You fetched a Sword of Body in mine.
Yeah, I got the planes, and I got the Sword of Body in mine too.
Okay.
But I want to lose. He was being a douche, and he said, "You want to scoop?" Because I got infinite life, and I told him I am now. So guess what I did? I went and got my out via March Flats.
And he just let you?
He didn't notice.
Didn't notice.
Didn't notice. Yeah.
Oh man,
I grew up playing Yu-Gi-Oh. You know, we had to do things that we weren't proud of. Yeah.
Was that like long before you were actually like playing like?
It was like when I was in like high school.
Yeah, just like over a decade ago.
No, it was last week actually.
No, last week.
It was actually against Calvin, actually on stream, right?
Calvin, can you imagine like where'd that sword come from?
The best part is I was playing Sword of Body in mine.
I don't think there's a single player player in this store who wouldn't know something like that.
I don't think anyone in this store cheats. And
no way.
Yeah, I can't imagine someone actually cheating. I feel like sometimes we're probably I've let people take black playing moves, so like it's kind of cheating.
That's actually how it is here at Paragon though, and I love it.
Oh, it to be honest, it should be that way because I went on this rant the other day. We're all trying. I think our goal here is to have fun, and then when we go to bigger tournaments, we go as a group. So I think we all want to succeed or succeed for most, and the best way to do that is to be able to play to the best of our ability. And like there's times where you got to be like, hey, just take it back, do what you need to do, and let's because if I beat people every time and they make tons of mistakes and I don't let them take it back, what if I play the guy who doesn't make mistakes? Can I beat him? I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah. No, you want to play against the player. You want to play against the the best plays, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not necessarily the best player, not necessarily like somebody specific, right? But you want to get in that practice that way.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe I don't know. I was kind of a douche when I was a younger Legacy player. Now that I'm an older Legacy player, I feel like I don't know. I think people still think I'm a douche. I can say douche on the stream, right?
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not gonna take us down. Take that. You got the FDIC. You got nothing on me. So we got a Gurmag angler.
Yeah. So this is this actually Bryce? Is he
playing Grixis? We're gonna watch Bryce. Let's watch Bryce. He's playing Grixis Delaware. He's got Gurmag anglers.
All right, round 3's up.
And he's playing against Gabe and Sneak and Show. I recognize that. Those cards anywhere. All right.
All right. We've already seen
a
Show and Tell.
Gurmag angler.
Well, it came in off Show and Tell. So Show and Tell got cast. Omniscience came in, and
so
Gurmag angler.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. It's not bad. Hey, putting a 5/5 in place, not bad. Yeah, so he's got a sneak attack and he's got an omniscience. Gabe's got to have something, Giving Bryce that clock, like I don't know if I like it that much.
Andy Prime, I understand what you mean. Like you do want people to learn from their mistakes, but that's for them, right? When you're the person that lets people take it back.
Bryce with 3 Delvers. I mean,
So he just beat the Sneak and Show player who went Show and Tell into Omniscience Hunter too. And he just didn't have anything else. Those Delvers did not flip.
They didn't flip. They didn't even flip. Because he had Gurmag angler, his opponent had nothing. So
he had a sneak attack.
That was interesting. That was kind of weird. I don't know. I don't really like that from Gabe. I like Gabe a lot. I guess
that's a weird hand to keep.
Yeah, I get it. I guess though. And I guess he doesn't. Realize.
Okay, he has a ton, right?
Yeah.
You have Omniscience in play. You hit 1 cantrip, okay, And if you don't find a cantrip, then you find a big creature.
Yeah.
So like you hit one cantrip, you're just gonna like fly on it, right?
Yeah.
You're gonna go cantrip. If there's no creatures in the cantrip,
Yeah.
you go get another cantrip, and you
Yeah.
just keep freaking going,
You know
right?
what am I saying? Once again, I'm breaking my rule. One guy cast Underground Sea, the other guy didn't. Good guys win, bad guys lose. You're right. My bad.
Even if it's Bryce.
Even if it's Bryce.
All right, so we've got Travis here again.
Bryce is that kid at the school. I think he's gonna kill me for saying this. I'm probably gonna. He already got mad and makes me a snarky comment today. But Bryce is the kid at the school where it's just like he doesn't sit at the lunch table, but he casts Underground Seas and Death Rites, so he goes to the same school as us. And it's one of those things where we can pick on Bryce, but you can't pick on Bryce. So
Right.
yeah.
Mhm.
So we'll still root for him.
Only we can pick on Bryce. And
Only
maybe
'cause
Kevin.
but the minute he takes his Underground Seas out, we don't know him. That's your Bryce, not ours.
You can have him.
Yeah.
That is justice. Sneak and Show is blight. Yeah, a lot of people do not like the Sneak and Show deck. That is for sure. Me, myself included.
I actually don't mind playing against it. Like I said, someone who plays
I don't-
Delver, you get a lot of counters, you get a lot of plays.
It is a very powerful deck.
Oh, absolutely.
The only issue I have with it is like a lot of times I'm losing to it, and I lost to pretty much 0 player skill. Like, regardless if the player is like an insanely good player,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
even if they are or if they're not, I don't think there's like a huge difference in the way that the deck plays.
It's interesting though. There's a point where Sneak and Show was like, I hadn't played during this time, but I've heard from a lot of people that was like the kind of like the People's Rebellion versus like Countertop and you know and all, Miracles and stuff like that. That was kind of like your the deck that could kind of beat them and keep them in check a little bit. It's kind of interesting how those roles switch, right?
Mhm.
How a deck can go from being the boogeyman to not the boogeyman to being the one who can keep the boogeyman at bay, stuff like that. It's a deck that I'm glad it's in Legacy though, because I like the idea of it. I like the idea of a combo deck that can play counters. I'm glad it's there. I'm glad it's not. You're right. Those times where they just like they as they say skill and show, but at the same time like it's one of those things where it's yeah. I mean it is. It's there's also times where you just lose because you're playing combo deck. But like it's one of those decks where to me it reminds me of what Legacy is. You want to have stuff like that. That's
absolutely.
the format we all signed up to play.
No, I have no issue with the deck being there. It is one of my deck's like worst matchups. Like it is so hard for Jen to beat, but at the same time, no, it absolutely needs to be there. I mean, it's just like Tron and Modern, right? Like it's not that different. The deck plays itself. It's incredibly powerful, right? And without it, like the mid range decks probably just like tear the format apart. So
one thing is Tron doesn't run Brainstorm, Sneak and Show does, and like I said, we do respect people who play Brainstorm.
We do.
So, shout out to all of you. This protein shake's on me.
Okay, so finally he decides to dump off mana bond. I was kind of surprised to see that like the turn 1 mana bond, no discard. But
hey,
Burns not going to beat this easily
unless he's got 5 bolts.
This has to be one of Burns' worst matchups. Like, I mean, without Price of Progress, like you just have to Price of Progress, right? There's like no other option. They can like never beat Glacial Chasm ever.
There's 2 decks I'll never ever play.
Those 2 right there?
No, never play them.
All right. Looks like Lands is going to pick that one up. Fast 2020, and the game is over. So we'll jump back over to our main match, even though
I'm excited about this one.
They are still getting.
This is one that you're going to see a lot in the next week
this
or
matchup.
so.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's a matchup that some do.
Some do. Most Lands players that I've talked to, as far as mana bond goes, they will play like a couple in their main, but they say that they board them out almost every single match.
Makes sense.
That's not really surprising. In game 1, sometimes you just want to win fast.
Yeah.
You just kill them on turn 2. Like, why not? Nothing like a 2020 to ruin your day. Oh, whatever, Jesse. You get 15/15s. That's just as good. Sometimes. Emrakul. Jesse's a Sneak and Show player.
The highest mana guy costs is good mana player. He's 1 black.
1 black. 1 black for a 5/5. Alright, starting things off with a Ponder. Funny that Jesse just shows up just for the Sneak and Show matchup. So that's what he's here for. That's like 5 less power. Yeah, but it doesn't matter when they don't have 6 permanents on the board. You just attack anyway. Or when they don't have 7, I mean.
Well, look at that probe. We were just talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you don't even think about this, Gabe. What are you thinking about? Days?
Yes.
If you got days, I would daze it maybe. But no.
Force of Will
He
Gataxian
just got
Probe?
him to Torok. Him to Torok from pay 2 life, him to Torok. That's pretty good. Underground Sea, we respect that. You know, we give Bryce love there. Oh. Think one thing, Bryce got to be nicer to me. I'm rooting for him in this one.
He's gonna have to be.
He's gonna have to be.
We forgot to mention the uncounterable part. Oh, I guess that's true. Yeah, good point. I mean, aren't you, like, off a sneak attack, it's uncounterable, right? Oh, I didn't get the time for the next round.
Yeah. The good thing about this, we've had matches that really aren't time relevant.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. I could probably guess. Or, like, right around when it's going to end. Let's just throw in a guess.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it'll probably be shorter
Here
than
we
that.
go. He's got Pedal Pass. Brainstorm. He's got a young Pyromancer, so there is a clock there. Another Force of Will.
Yeah, Force of Will is going to be really good in this matchup.
Yeah.
Especially where Gabriel just threw his away.
Gosh. You know, I don't know. I don't play this deck. I can't. Maybe that's the right thing to do. But I just, whenever a probe gets, I mean, you're right, because it's got so much value to it. But at the same time, it's just kind of like, this is one of those times where I think you put you take your panties off and you just said, hell, I'm going to run this out.
Well, okay, there actually is a couple reasons I don't like forcing this. First off, like, why? Okay, Grixis Delver does not need the card they're getting up a Gataxian Probe.
True.
They don't need it.
They don't.
Okay,
Yeah.
and then you have from Gabe's side, like, it is really important to resolve a show and tell.
Yeah.
Right. It is incredibly important to resolve that, and you need Force to help you. So. And the thing is like the only reason I can even think of to force a Gataxian Probe is to hide information. Well, you just force a Gataxian Probe. Isn't that enough? All the information.
If you
that
force my
needed?
Gataxian Probe, to me that's saying, hey, you've got heat,
Right.
so I've got to do something to disrupt you.
Right. So
and I'll tell you one thing: if you're trying to bluff that you don't have anything and you force the Gataxian Probe and you throw away a Ponder, that seems not very good.
well, haven't you just lost at that?
That's the thing.
Lost.
It's just I think, and this is how I would play a deck, and I would say, hey, this is what I got. This is what I'm gonna do to you. Like, and you can either stop me or you can't.
Right.
Because like,
but I don't know. Like, I don't know what's in Gabriel's hand. We have not seen. Maybe hiding the information is worth it. I doubt it, but it could be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I see a Delta. That's the only thing I've seen is it. Or what was it? Like Delta Sneak Attack that we just barely kind of
That
glimpsed.
was a sneak attack.
Do you think it's two? Was it 2 Sneak Attack? I'm not sure, but here's a Wasteland, and now
Yeah.
he can play the Sneak Attack, but I don't think that was it Omniscience in his hand. That was the other card. See, that's not a hand that you force. That's not a hand where you force Gataxian Probe. So you think it was actually your scenario where he forced because his hand's just bad? And
No, I don't. It's I mean that's I don't, and I think what Gabe is probably thinking is he's probably like, I mean, we talked about this earlier, and look, there's a Cabal therapy.
Mm-hmm.
The power of Gataxian Probe is just being able to change your whole mindset to play and be able to counter them. And maybe Gabe was just like thinking, if he's going to be able to counter me, I'm going to lose the game. So I've got to stop him from having knowledge. But like, it gets to a point where card advantage is also very important.
Right.
And now with Bryce having Force of Will, fire it off. And he's got he's got 2 young pyromancers for this Cabal Therapy.
Yeah, this is incredible.
So I mean, if he's getting everything, this is one of those things where it's
especially if he has a good name here, right?
Yeah.
Like what are the things that Gabriel could have in his hand that he hasn't been casting?
well, he's naming
Sneak Attack would be like one of my first choices.
Well, he's got
or a big threat.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine.
So he missed. So he missed with the first guess. So he must have guessed Show and Tell, right?
Well, Show and Tell or Grizzlebrand.
What do you name here? What are you taking out? You taking the Sneak Attack, obviously?
Well,
or you're taking the threat?
Probably Sneak Attack.
Well, brace it. Not brace. I actually, if he's got a Daze and a Force of Will, because then you're running your Sneak Attack into Daze. That's one thing to keep in mind too.
Yeah.
I almost let him keep the Sneak Attack.
Let him keep the Sneak Attack
because you've got a clock.
Blast?
You've got a clock.
You just hit the Pyroblast then. Because this isn't scary. Even if he draws a land in like cast Sneak Attack, right? Then you just like counter it, and now they literally have to draw Show and Tell, right?
It almost doesn't even matter. He doesn't even need to cast the Ball Therapy. This is
Yeah. I think Pyroblast is the best
I think
card
that's
to take.
fine. Yeah, I think that's probably fine. It probably disrupts other stuff you do. This one's I don't know. It's not good for Gabe.
No.
He needs about 7 Hail Marys right now. If I was Gabe, I'd pull out my phone and call the police. Because that's the only thing that's going to save
Yeah.
I mean, this is where we get to the out of what I call the bathroom break. I mean, there's always the out that Bryce needs to go to the bathroom and just doesn't come back. And I think that's where we're at.
Okay, so did Bryce just fluster just to get the 2 to deal lethal?
That's greedy.
That was a little.
I'm gonna go scold Gabe.
Hey, why are we forcing taxi robes? Why are we forcing?
Definitely a different personality here in the booth. That is for sure. Pretty fun. He forced. He did. Oh, he did cast Force on the Ponder. Oh, okay. I thought he just cast Flusterstorm or whatever it was. All right, jumping back over to our other match. It looks like they're sideboarding, so I think we're gonna get a game 3 here. Burn able to take down lands. Is he being added to the bunch? I don't know. I could talk to him. He's very, very knowledgeable. One of our best players, that is for sure. I don't know. Yeah, the problem is with commentary mostly is so many of our players could do it. So many of our players are like talented enough Magic players to come in here and do it. The issue is everybody wants to play. Everybody wants to play. Like I'm probably like I'm probably the only person, like, as far as our Legacy community goes, that would like rather talk about Magic. Who's my co-pilot? This is Terry. They were saying that you're a great commentator.
Poor Gabe. I love Gabe. I just talked to him. Gabe's one of my favorite players. I like Bryce a lot too. Bryce probably thinks I hate him, but I really like both of them. They're 2 of my favorite Magic players. I love to play against both of them. Bryce is really good. I love doing mirrors against Bryce. He beat me last time because of Price of Progress. I mean, if you're gonna put Price of Progress cards in Delver, then you got issues in your closet. But hey,
yeah.
But I just
It just hurt.
Can't force the probe. And what he told me is this stop the Cabal Therapy, but I'm like, it doesn't stop the Cabal Therapy because he casts it anyways.
No.
So.
No, but I was just talking to them. The biggest, like, I was just saying that, like, we have a ton of people in this room who could commentate.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
We really do. But I genuinely think that I'm the only person who prefers talking about Magic over playing it. I love playing Magic. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I love playing. I love talking about it. But the thing is Magic is like a never-ending conversation.
Yeah.
There is never a point where there isn't something to talk about when it comes to Magic. I love that more than I like playing it, which is rare. I think most people would rather play, and that's what makes me a commentator, right? Like that's why I can sit here and commentate. Whereas for other people, Bryce is only willing to do it once a week. Okay. And Matt, like, he's just a busy person, so he can do Fridays, and sometimes he can't, like today, right? And then we have Brian. Brian would much rather play.
Yeah.
He comes in here when he is needed. That is when he comes in here. So like, you know, like tonight he was gonna do it, and then you weren't gonna play, so you were just like, I'll do it. You know, like, I'll do it, and I was like, all right, great. Let's get you in here. Everything is great. But yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say if somebody's just being added to the bunch, though, because usually we want to stick to the people who are willing to do it.
Like
right?
a special guest. It's like Ric Flair.
Exactly.
Like, you don't get Ric Flair every day.
No.
Yeah. What is this? You don't get, you know.
No, you get boring.
Hey, Blake Lively only follows you into the bathroom and tell you you've been a naughty boy only so much. That's the way this is. Like, you don't get that every day.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe they were dumb.
I don't know. I love playing. My only reason why I didn't really want to play tonight was, to be honest, I'm dialed in for Seattle. I'm at the point where if I'm gonna be as ready as I'm ever, and the more I play, I probably will outthink myself, and I'll start second guessing things. And I've got the list I want to use. I feel comfortable with it. The only matchup that I haven't tested a ton, ironically, is the Death and Taxes one. That's why I told you I'd play.
Since my roommate is sick, if you would like, I can borrow his in Gems and games either tonight or during this weekend.
I think
so. If you do
good with it, we'll figure it out.
If you do want some testing, I can definitely do that. But
it's one of those where I don't play it a ton, and usually when I do play, I do pretty well against it. But you know, there's sometimes where it's like, sometimes you've got to beat a deck 10 times in a row just to make sure, okay, like this is like what I want to do.
Yes, I do know how to combat this deck. Yeah.
One thing I really like about Calvin, I'll tell you this, I'm kind of bummed he lost that so we can see him play more, but a good story about Calvin and my other buddy is sometimes you play test and you lose 10 times, you lose 20 times, but you get to play in the actual tournament and you play against that deck and you win because, like, you know. So
Are you like me then? Every time I play against Calvin, every single time I lose, but in tournament, I have never lost to Calvin.
I'm poor Calvin. He's gonna hear this. Calvin, I love you. You know that. I am banging against Calvin right now. I've been beating him in tournaments and poor freaking playtest. I'm crushing him to the point where I think last time we playtested, we went like 8-5, 8-6, me, and he was just ecstatic about it. Like, we went and celebrated, went and got some good food because of it. So, but Calvin's a great player. It just Delver's a. You know.
I'm putting Brian and Jeff on because they're ready.
Because there's like a half an hour to kill. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, put them on.
Yeah.
Perfect. We'll have some more Magic to watch.
Paul's giving me crap. He was saying that I'm in there talking bad about the life and loan people.
Of course you are.
Yeah.
We have to. We just have to. That's how it goes. But that's another fun thing about being here is, like, we all know each other and we can talk crap on each other.
Yeah.
We can, you know, like, if I say something rude about somebody, they're not going to be like offended, right? They're just going to be like, "Oh man, I'm going to get you back," you know.
Yeah, I'm probably the biggest provocateur right now. So I guess some of the newer people, like, they have, like, people have to be explained, like, "Oh no, he's an okay guy. He's a good guy. He didn't mean that."
He didn't mean that.
Yeah, I had to tone it down for the stream. Like, you guys don't even know. This is just tip of the iceberg.
This is toned down, Terry.
Yeah. You haven't had any terrorist references and Al-Qaeda references. We're doing good. We're doing good.
None of that.
No. Yeah.
We can only mention the references. We can't actually.
No. Yeah.
No, but speaking of D&T though, because my roommate's trying to play the deck, we've been watching like a decent amount of, like, you know, primers and like other things like this on D&T. The more I watch Death and Taxes, I think the more I appreciate the players who play it. Mostly because there are so many people who make Death and Taxes look like the worst possible deck to be playing in Legacy.
Sure.
Okay, and there are so many, but the people who do well with it, man, those people are insane. Like talk about a deck that can highlight just how good a player is.
Yeah, you're right, but this is my thing. You're absolutely right, 100% right. But at the end of the day, when you're playing a deck like that, I feel like there's just only so much you can do. And when that guy did really well, I think in Spain, it was a guy who's like a famous D&T player, loves the deck,
Denmark,
and he's just like, I have to play for Clear Control because it's just so much better. And it gets to a point where like that's the problem I have with D&T is because like at the end of the day, you're not casting your brainstorms, you're not casting your ponders, you're not able to force a will something. There's just certain things about the deck that just fall short a little bit. There's certain things the decks do great against. If you get one of those D&T Wasteland, Sharpenport, Aether Vial hands, Thalia hands, hey, we're
pretty hard to miss.
Pop the champagne, we're winning. But the thing is, like, and then you don't get those hands, and then it's just my answer. Like, that's the end of the day. I told you before, I love the deck. I'm happy it's in Legacy. I hope it stays in Legacy. I hope it's a tier 1 deck. I'm great with it. You'll never see me with basic planes and Aether Vials. But, you know.
Yep.
I don't know. So, there's only one way to live, folks. And if you haven't figured it out yet, it's through the underground sea, past the polluted delta, with the Scalding Tarn, waving to your friend Deathrite Shaman, and then you pick the last card, because we've all got a card we like playing.
Yep.
So, could be Tombstalker, could be Leovold, could be Baleful Strix, could be Knight of the Reliquary.
Could be.
So
how do you feel about Soul decks then?
What do you mean?
Just like
like Ancient Tomb decks?
Yeah.
Not a fan. Anytime where you're trying to cast Chalice of the Void, you know what? Go play Modern. But at the same time, I like Agrolome. I think that's a cool deck. Eldrazi is, I think Eldrazi is actually a pretty good deck. I think it's good. I'm not a fan of the Steel Stompy decks. I like Agrolome. The truth is, Chalice on 1 is just so good. It is good. I get why people want to play it. You know, and Ancient Tomb enables it, has some great interaction with it. At the same time, though, heck, you know what that 5th card in my Magic scenario is? It's Wasteland. And the thing is, and this is the conversations I have with myself, is if I want to play, you know, those, this thing they're playing. I don't know if you want to watch, but like, I think Wasteland does a good job of living in those decks. But when those decks go off, when you imagine a Reality Smasher with Jitte, like, there's not a lot that's going to beat that.
So I have noticed that like there's something wrong with the decks that play Chalice on turn 1, and I think it's the illusion of if I play Chalice on turn 1, I win.
True. I agree with you.
For instance, I play a deck that has like I do not care about Chalice at all. Yeah. Not only that, but if there was a time when I cared about Chalice, I could just kill it. Like my deck, I have Abrupt Decays and I have Maelstrom Pulse. Like I do not care. Okay, and
does Chalice on 1 even do anything to you?
No, it stops me from Deathrite and Lightning Bolt and like some hand hate cards, but usually by the they have to like turn 1 and do that, and then like I end up like playing a Lily and just like discarding them all.
Yeah.
I don't even care.
Yeah.
So, but that's the thing though, is like I can't tell you how many times I'm beating these Soulland decks, and these decks are really good against my deck. Yeah. Really good. But Chalice isn't, and they keep hands against me game 1 where they have Chalice and nothing else, and they just keep, I have Chalice, so let's keep the hand. That's the mentality that we keep getting.
Well, I think the funny part is even against Delver, I've had situations where I'm playing the big red deck or I'm playing against something with Chalice, and they go Chalice on 1. I look at my hand and I see Young Pyromancer and Trinity Nemesis or even Gurmag Angler, and I jam those guys and I throw cards into Chalice just to counter them for my Gurmag Angler, And I still feel like I'm in the driver's seat to win. That's the thing, is it's just like, you're right about that. That's the thing, is there's certain decks to it that have an alert to them, because it's just like, listen, there's a lot of Magic people who are like, hey, I just want to play a card and win. Chalice of Void's kind of one of those cards that has that, it's kind of deceptive about it. Listen, Blood Moon's one, and I'll tell you one thing, you may not agree with me, but Thespian Stage and Dark Depths is one too. Those are certain packages of cards where it's just like, at the end of the day, I want to press a button and win. And it's a mindset, right? Hey, it doesn't fit me. I want to beat you with Brainstorms. I want to beat you with Ponders. I'm going to beat you with Deathrite Shamans. That's how I want to beat you, right? I want to interact to you to the point of just no return.
Yep.
But listen, there's an alert to that, especially in a format like Legacy, And look at that. As I'm saying, my childhood hero, the man himself, Tombstalker's on the board.
Yeah, that's Bryce. That's Bryce's altered.
Yeah.
Like Tombstalker. Brian was playing Gurmag Angler for a while.
Engineered Plague just killed all the humans.
Yep. Like Brian was playing Gurmag Angler for a while, and it's important. This food chain deck does need to have ways outside of just Deathrite Shaman to exile things from his graveyard.
Yeah, Tombstalker's it's great because it's good against Delver too, and he usually has too much mana.
Not only that, but food chain also needs a creature on board to sack to food chain to get the combo started. So having Tombstalker or Gurmag Angler is really, really good for the deck. He's been liking Tombstalker, which I'm a huge fan of. That's just so cool. I think the food chain deck's fantastic. But
Is Bryce commenting on the stream
right here?
What? We have a rule: you can't be in the building and watch the stream.
Oh,
unbelievable. Unbelievable. This Engineered Plague did work too. Also, one thing too is I don't want to play a deck that dies to Marsh Casualties. That's a fear of mine, right? You play 4 things and someone casts Marsh Casualties. Man.
But I'm gonna listen to the stream during the game. Oh, why?
How do we mute people?
How do we mute people?
As someone who believes in no regulation at all, I can't even mute people.
He's just as mod as I am.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, actually, on my phone, I could.
But
I could take his mod away.
That's my problem with Death and Taxes, and it's just kind of like, the Death and Taxes just not have a Death and Taxes hand. That's just why it's not going well. It's because Brian's playing basics. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, D&T has its weaknesses, right? I mean, we used to have quite a few D&T players in our store, and I came in with Jund, and like, that is my #1 best matchup. Losing that matchup is so difficult for me.
Look at this guy. Yeah, you here, finish your point. Sorry.
No, this is much more important.
Yeah. Hey, listen, bro. You cast those Delvers after you got a free Gurmag Angler, so how about you just, you chill for a second. So yeah, you played him and then the guy scooped. So yeah, you didn't even get a chance to flip him. You probably would have ripped like a lightning bolt knowing you. So
is that it? That was all?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I said something nice about you that we played recently in the mirror match and you beat me. So,
you did.
So yeah, take that.
And here you are being mean.
Yeah, here you are being mean.
Unbelievable. Who is this guy?
Unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, it's the one thing about D&T too, I don't know the deck well enough, so maybe you guys can correct me, or maybe you can tell me I'm wrong. I feel like once you've gotten kicked in the face, it's hard to get back up, and you're just 2 behind. What do you do? Like, it just seems like there's those times where you need 2 cards, and it's just like, I don't know.
One thing about D&T that I've always kind of wondered is how they can afford to not play fetches. I mean, like, the deck thinning, I know that, like, cracking 1 fetch, the percentage that you're changing, from drawing gas to land, right, is so small. The chance of it mattering is, like, so close to 0. But over the match, if you fetch like 4 or 5 times, that's when the percentages matter, right?
You know what's crazy to think about? How many times have you cast a Ponder or Brainstorm, seen garbage, and used your fetch immediately? Probably, or just shuffle with your Ponder. Probably like a good amount, right?
Yeah, tons.
I know, I certainly have. You know what's, if you think about it, D&D can't do that.
No, they can't.
Yeah.
No, if they have a bad hand, they have to deal with their bad hand.
And the next 3 cards, if they're bad, they're keeping them.
Yes. Well, I mean that's how the deck I play is.
Yeah.
But that's also another thing though, because like my deck is kind of packed with interaction and like creatures that end the game.
Yeah.
Okay. Whereas D&T, they have such a small amount of interaction. They have like Council's Judgment out of their board and like swords, right?
Yeah.
That's all they have, and I don't know. I mean, this is exactly why I'm going back and saying like the people who make this deck work, I think they're amazing.
Yeah.
Because it seriously is just an incredibly difficult deck to play. You have to play it differently for all of your matchups, and and the deck doesn't necessarily have a lot of great matchups.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know. It's just impressive. I mean, I guess I'm impressed by all the decks that people play like that. Like you get all these people playing these weird decks like Enchantress or like
whenever you guys said that weird Nick Fit thing, I was weird.
It was weird.
Yeah.
But I love that deck.
Yeah.
It's sweet.
It was my pleasure to stomp it on stream every time I played it. You guys know that.
Oh, it's not a good deck.
Yeah.
It's way too fragile. Yeah, Brian's showing off his foils. That does sound like something he would do, doesn't it?
Poor Jeff. Jeff looks like a gentleman. You should see him without his big bushy beard. Gentleman Jeff, yeah.
He's shaved completely off?
No, he still gets like grooming.
Yeah. Interesting. Now Jeff also plays Maverick quite a bit. Like, I think Maverick is a much better deck than D&T. However, no, this is way more important. Kyer letting Terry interrupt to rip Bryce. Yep. Added quote.
I said so much nice stuff for you. I rooted for you. I even told him that you were the kid that, even though that I feel like I bully you, that it's just like one of those things where you still go to our school, so nobody else can bully you except me. I said some nice stuff.
It was really nice.
Yeah, but I tell you one thing, Bryce. You take out those underground seas and you go back to those basic mountains. You back to islands. You find it. You go somewhere else. We don't want anything to do with you.
You're gonna have to change schools.
Yeah, you change schools.
And we're gonna let all those weird kids make fun of you now.
Yeah. You're getting picked on the way home. We're not stopping. Yeah. Take the bus.
Take the bus. Oh, you wanted a ride? It's an official quote now. Was it not just quote? It didn't enter as a quote. See, okay, Captain QC's got it. Quote 25. Man, we have so many freaking good quotes now.
One thing, when Bryce played that weird blue-red control deck, though,
the one with like a little bit of green in it.
I don't even know what it was. Bryce was confused when he was playing it. He would like
draw
his
seven deck, right?
No, it wasn't. It was a different deck. It was like a control blue-red deck that had like Cryptic Command and Counterspell in it.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was like he was like playing it. Whenever he'd draw his cards, he'd be confused, and I'd be confused because he was confused. So what do you do? What? And he'd be like, well, I don't know what's in this deck, and I'd be like, I don't know what the heck you're playing. So I was like one of the most confusing games of Magic I've ever played.
Yeah, some of the quotes are just boring, but we have cleaned them out a couple times. A lot of them are really good. What
do we got for our last round? Do we know? We have
I think it's Bryce versus Paul.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's going to be Delver versus
I feel like
Lance.
You know what's weird? We watched Paul play, and it's just one of those things where it's just like it's like a common theme. Like it seems like he's always losing, and also the Thespian stage finds the Dark Depths, and here we are, and it's Bryce versus Paul. You know what I mean?
Yep. I actually do.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as like commentary goes, the three players that we see the most is Josh, Paul, and you.
Yeah.
Yeah. We see those three players.
Those
the most.
Josh Paul matchups got to be brutal.
They are every time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got
most of the time Josh wins, but when Paul actually pulls it out, we've also seen so many boring matches between them. But we've also seen matches that are like incredible, right?
Yeah.
Where like one person completely has to next level the other player to get there. And then there's the other times where it's like, okay, I made a 20/20 and you don't have the answer. And then there are other times where it's like, okay, well I tried to gamble and it got forced and there's nothing else. So Paul the Legend Berman.
He's actually now Proper Paul. That's actually his new character. He's
proper Paul.
He wants to be Proper Paul. Paul wants to dress nicer, wear a top hat, and he wants to be proper. So.
I actually kind of like
Paul's
proper
like
Paul
the
better
sad part is
than
Paul's
the Legend
on
Armor.
board with proper Paul. That's
Is
the
he?
weird part. He's like 100% on board with it.
It's a sweet name.
I thought he would just be like, oh, that's weird. But he was like, no. He was like, yeah, I'd love to do that. Give me my cane and top hat. So
We have to find a name for Josh. Maybe
he's just Josh. Somebody should just Josh. You know, everyone knows. Hey, you're playing Josh. You
Yep.
know.
we actually have to call our other Josh Joshua because Josh is already taken, right?
I love playing against Josh. Whenever I see me pair with Josh, I get excited. That's the one thing is like I always want to play against Josh. It's one of those things where it's like I want to beat him. You know, that's another thing. It's just like I like playing against Corey. You know, Calvin too. I like making Calvin sad. So
I can't tell you, every single time I play against Calvin, every single time I get to this position in the game where I've turned the corner, all right? I'm about to win, and there's one turn where I need it to go my way. One turn. And I always point at him, and I'm just like, don't you dare rip this card.
yeah.
This one card.
He
It
does.
has to be this one. I've thought through all the others. Don't you dare rip this one card. And he goes, whoop, had it. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. I can't deal with this anymore. Okay, let's play in a real tournament where I get to win. All right, pairings are going up. We've got Paul and Bryce, and then Joseph versus
So we
Gabriel.
got Lance against Grixis Delver. So this,
Joseph, that's got to be Brian.
This one's the internet likes this match because the internet tells you this. It tells you lands are gonna beat Grixis Delver.
Yes.
And then you get these weird Grixis Delver players who don't play Grixis Delver that much but are good Magic players who tell you that Grixis Delver beats lands. Which doesn't make too much sense, but hey, you're playing a powerful deck. Feel like you can do powerful things, so you can win. So as someone who plays Grixis Delver a lot, who's played Bug Delver, who's played 4-color control, I can tell you, yeah, you got Deathrite Shaman. Yeah, I know. But I don't ever feel that great being in the seat of being against lands. But I'll tell you this. When you've got True Name Nemesis in your deck, you got Delver of Secrets, you got Young Pyromancer, sometimes you just get the heat and you can go. And that's the way I play the deck against lands, and I don't mind playing, you know, against lands, but this is what I call, this is what the internet wants. Because it's kind of like a debate that for whatever reason, you're right, lands should beat Grixis Delver, but you get this whole mindset where no, Grixis Delver can beat lands. So
Any deck can beat any deck. But
true.
As far as matchups that like weigh one way, from my experience, I've seen Grixis Delver fall to lands probably
I
more
run
than
two
any other
Stifle too.
matchup.
I'm kind of weird. I run two Stifle, so maybe
There's a couple
yeah.
just
Run
to
two.
surprise them, right?
Two Stifle, two Spell Pierce.
You don't want them seeing those stifles till game 3.
You know what? I get called bad words on my group texts with my other friends for not running 4 Stifle. They've said some derogatory terms about me because I only run 2. I'm fine with 2. I like 2. I like 2 Spell Pierce. I like 2 Stifle. I cut a Probe and I cut a Pyromancer. I think it's fine. To be honest, I probably should just run 2 Spell Pierce, add the Probe and Pyromancer. But hey, sometimes Stifle just gets people.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gearing up.
What-
People are getting ready.
And like I said, we've had, it's like a theme the whole time. Life from the Loam versus Underground Sea and Deathrite Shaman. You know, America versus non-America. Can't say what I'd like to say, but we know who we're rooting for.
We always root for the underdogs. That's how it works.
I always like how Paul has his brown sleeves. It's just like color of the earth. You know?
Yep.
Little Paul, man of the earth. I've won games against Big Red where I've had Young Pyromancer and just start bolting them, and they're just like, I'm bad. So you can get one wood. Like, what's our backup match out of curiosity? Do we know?
It says the information is Joseph versus Gabriel. Now Brian's real name is Joseph, so that's probably Brian versus Gabe. So that's Sneak and Show versus Puchain. That's a good matchup, I think. I do happen to know that Brian's usually worried about that matchup, so I would guess I would guess that Sneak and Show's got a pretty good matchup.
All right, Bryce. Let's get us an Underground Sea. We need a Polluted Delta because we need to be able to eat the Punishing Fire. So let's get ourselves a Polluted Delta, and let's get ourselves a Deathrite Shaman, and let's get a Daze. That's what we were looking for. We're looking for that. Hopefully Paul just draws them. Probably not many streams you'd watch that we avidly root for Grixis Delver here. Well, at least I do.
I actually really like the Grixis Delver deck, surprisingly enough.
Yeah.
Like, even I don't know. Like even the Grixis Delver deck just has games where it just gets like torn to shreds, right? I mean,
Yeah, I lost the steel stuff.
I don't think Grixis Delver is the best deck because the deck is more powerful than everything else. I think it's the best deck because it has game against
Absolutely, yeah. No,
it does.
absolutely.
It doesn't blow anything out.
Absolutely.
Really, it's just good because it doesn't matter what you sit down against. You
You're in the
can't.
game.
You get to play. So like for instance, playing Jund, right? If I play against Storm, I can honestly tell you it is like a 70-30 in my opponent's favor.
Yep.
Like the chances I win that match, regardless of player skill, is very, very low. Okay, and same with my Sneak and Show matchup. Blah 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 blah. Okay, where like Grixis Delver, you get to walk in and you get to play. That's
1 second. Bryce is living the dream. Sculling turns in one of our 5 things to live a successful life.
oh good.
Remember, I leave the fifth. The fifth one was Gitaxian Probe. We figured that out. Come on. Underground Sea? Sculling turn, Underground Sea? Slam it, Bryce. Let's do this. Okay, Delver. We're okay with that. We're good with that. We actually want that. Because a 3-2 clock without punishing fire, that's going to win us the game.
Yep.
Let's daze that. Let's get it. Come on, Bryce. Slam the daze. Put that Underground Sea back in your hand.
Get him.
Or force it. I think we got to force it, Bryce. Let's do it. Okay, let's get rid of the Ponder. Spell Pierce. That's fine, too. Because we don't dig for threats. Okay.
All these are fine.
All right, let's... Okay, come on. Flip it.
You know what's so funny? You know what's so funny about this too?
Yeah.
Bryce absolutely hates the lands deck.
Yeah.
Every single stream we see lands and he's just like, "Oh look, my favorite combination of cards:
Yeah.
Gamble into Life from the Loam." You know, so seeing him actually playing against
Maybe
lands in the
maybe
finals,
I'm Superman and Bryce is Bizarros.
that has to be it.
That's it. Yeah.
no other
No other
possibilities.
possibility. This is good. Hey, we get a Delver flipping. Paul lost an exploration. And yeah, I like where we're at. I love Spell Pierce. It was hard to see the Spell Pierce scale, but Bryce is right. The Ponder is going to give us more information. It's going to give us more gas. It's going to flip our Delver, so I like it. So, and one of my favorite Paul gambles ever is he gambled for a choke, and then I picked the choke, and then went to the graveyard. Oh,
Beautiful.
nice try. Not so fast, my friend. So.
Let's get a face cam so we can see his reaction to Paul's gamble. Oh, that would be priceless, wouldn't it?
I wish you would slow down and shuffle. I got a Grove. A Grove, I don't see a Punishing Fire. It's good. I see a Dark Depths. That's a Wasteland.
It's true. Bryce holds nothing back.
That's not that great of a line, though. Just playing Wasteland Pass, that means he just doesn't have a ton of stuff.
Nope.
And now we've
Definitely
got
not.
we've got the Force of the Will for the first Punishing Fire. Yeah, Paul's got to do something. No, I don't think it's anything bad. I'm good.
What is lewdness? I don't know.
Oh,
You tell me.
cast it. It's Thespian Stage and Dark Depths. That's what it is.
That's what lewdness is.
Yeah, I think Paul's in trouble.
He definitely could be. You need the definition of lewdness. Well, you're probably on your mobile device or on a computer. I suggest using that.
Another Delver. That Delver's slipping too.
Yeah.
It's interesting that Rice doesn't include Delta. I forget he does Scalding Tide, Flooded Strand to try to get people. Even though now
Gotta get him.
Now when I see a Flooded Strand, I assume you're on Grixis Delver, which is ironic.
You must not allow Bryce to win on stream,
Hey, listen,
or we'll never hear the end of it.
Any member of the Church of the Underground Sea, Deathrite Shaman, doesn't matter who it is, they paid their tithing, or they paid, I can say that, right? Yeah, it's not bad.
No.
Some people don't like it. Paid their tithing, they paid their dues, they paid their almonds, whatever it's called. They, they paid where they get to go to heaven. So
Yep.
Bryce, I get it. Listen, I know. Bryce
Someone go to
I get it. Bryce is frustrating. I know. Sometimes he's barbaric, but remember,
He still plays Underground Sea.
he's one of the chosen ones, and we have to respect that.
Yeah, it's an attack for 6.
Hey, come on.
This is fast.
Like we're getting, I mean, do we see? Can Bryce stop a Dark Depths? Because we know he's got Dark Depths.
No. I mean, he's gonna have to chump with one of these at some point, right? Like he
He hasn't played a land yet, so we can find a wasteland. There's a probe.
So he has to like keep probe, and then fetch and probe.
He's got spell pierce, probe, and force of will, so he can keep a blue card for force. You get surgicals in every sideboard, and also you get a satisfaction in life that you know you're going places.
That's true.
Yeah, that's one thing you got to realize. Yeah, it's weird. See, this is the part where it's just like Bryce got to find a wasteland. Paul could make that 2020, and then all of a sudden now here we are. You know.
Yep. Paul has this nice slow hand, and on turn 4 he's going to make it 2020, and the game will end. Like,
he can keep a guy back. You know, I think a young pyromancer would be really good. Oh, hey, look at that, right?
There you go.
Young pyromancer, because then we can start going wide and get under it. That's good. I mean, that's what we wanted to do.
Yeah,
So
it is.
he's got the probe. Looks like he's keeping the probe for force of will. Nope, we're gonna go get it, which I like actually. What are we really forcing? You know what I mean?
Right. So we see 6 lands.
The
This
dark
is
depths and crop rotation.
Glacial Chasm. We've got Wasteland of Ajuka Bog, Grove, Crop Rot, and of course Dark Depths.
You know, one thing I respect reanimator players, because a lot of the black-red reanimator players are old blue-black reanimator players who just lost their way, and one day we'll bring them home. We'll bring them home one day. They'll come home. You know. Come on home someday, guys.
Everybody loses their way at some point.
Pack rat shot. Tranquil thicket. Yep, there you go.
And here's the 2020.
Yeah, it's black red reanimator is that girl in high school where you used to think she was cute and you liked her. She had a great personality, and it just didn't work. And then you see her later in life, and it's just one of those things where it's just like, man, you could have been so much better. You could have been so much better. Maybe it's my fault, right? Maybe if you're casting brainstorms or ponders still, you'd be better. But that's how I feel about black red reanimator. You know, it's one of those things where, and heck, maybe if we're both lonely and I don't have anything to do and you don't have anything to do, hey, maybe we just, hit the graveyard together.
Maybe.
We're still casting reanimate. It's not that much different. There's a daze. It's not going to do anything.
Nope.
Bryce has just got to cast spells, actually. So this sounds weird, but dazing his own spell is probably fine. Because, like I said, we want to go wide. We got to keep... we can probably daze and force irrelevant because of the punishing fire. Because if we need to swing with both those guys, it's tough, right? This is where it gets tough, and
Captain Casey wants to know if he can trademark this.
Sure, go for it.
Hit the graveyard together.
Go for it. Because you want to kill Paul. Because the more draw steps Paul gets, he's going to find a punishing fire and he's going to gun us down. But what do you hold back? You said sending 2 tokens in just seems mediocre. If we've got the counter for the punishing fire, I say we send the guys in. I say we send 1 Delver and the 2 tokens to get through. It's going to get blocked. I know it, but our 2 tokens will get through. And putting him at 8, it just sets up for an alpha strike.
He does have the bolt.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Can we just go to the club? Can we just go all in and get him with the bolt? Yeah, you're right. My bad. You're right. I forget about Tabernacle.
Yeah, he has a crop rot.
It's too late, though? Or did Bryce pass?
Bryce passed.
Yeah, he passed.
I think.
Shit. Sorry, I can't say that. My bad. Darn it. That's what I would think if I was in the situation. Darn it. Yeah. Should we have just gone... Could we have just swung with everybody except one insect guy like I was thinking?
Well, most of them came into play this turn.
We had two young pyromancer, 2 insectile guys. So we would have sent him in with the bolt. He blocks the 3/2, a 3/2, and the 2 tokens and the young pyromancer go through, he's dead. Right?
Well, didn't he get all 3 tokens this turn?
No, he got... Did he? I thought he got 2. Because he probed last turn, did he?
Yeah, you're right. So he would have gone block 3, take 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 1 damage off.
With bolt?
Yeah.
Even with bolt in mind?
Because so Merit Lage blocks 1, right? So then there's the 3 off the Delver, the 2 off the Pyro, and then and then the 1 off the token. So yeah, bolt puts him to 1.
Well, wait, in my line, I think it's still right though. We don't kill him, but we send everybody in except for 1 Delver. He swings back. We block with our Delver guy in the air or our insect. Because in my situation, we're not dead back because we held back a Delver. So if we just send everybody instead, do we win?
Through Tabernacle, I'm not sure.
Let me ask you this:
So
do you think we should have sent everyone and held back 1 insectile guy? Because that's what I think we should have done.
Okay, so then he blocks Delver and he only takes 3. He takes 1 off the token, 1 and 2 off the Pyro, right? So he goes to 7.
Yeah.
And then you have to block, so you're losing insectile. So then you flip your Delver on your next turn, and you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I have 2 Delvers
8?
attacking because I got to pay for both. Did I bolt at the end of last turn?
Yeah.
If I bolt at the end of last turn, or 2 Delvers get us there.
Yeah, I think he should have gone in. Yeah, I think he could have.
Yeah. You know what? That's we may have been off too with I don't want to say that too because one thing I hated is when you guys like critique my plays and like you guys miss something and it's just like, why aren't you days that, Terry? And I was just like, yeah, maybe because I'm weird.
We don't know everything, right? Like,
so we don't know. I don't know. So when you rewatch this, Bryce, I wanted you to win. I did. I did the best I could. I channeled everything I had to you. Maybe your young Pyromancer generated those tokens those turns, so that line wasn't there. And I trust you, and I think we're going to win game 2 and 3. So.
Burning Herb. Bryce is the player who is playing Grixis Delver right now. He also is a commentator for us on Tuesday Night Legacy. So a lot of people in chat know him well because he's sitting next to me where Terry is.
Hey, let's link his felt, and he also does some sick altars, and we're gonna link you his altars.
We really are gonna link you his altars. I mean, he always shows us his new altars every single Tuesday. But man, this guy is incredible. Yeah. Like seriously.
Listen, Mozart retired from painting because of Bryce. Guarantee it. Mozart doesn't paint anymore. Wait, he's a musician.
You're doing great. Keep going.
Well, Mozart still used to paint, gave it up, said can't do the painting, got to do the music because of Bryce. And listen, other people, Pollock, that guy, same thing. Couldn't do it anymore because of Bryce. I'll throw one more example. Kanye's not the same Kanye anymore. Why? Because of Bryce. Because he questions everything because how good Bryce is. That's who Bryce is. That's all I got to say about that. And here we are. There's his altars. They're great.
Yeah,
My favorite altar is his Tombstalker and Young Pyromancer altars because you can put them in decks to Underground Sea, and that's the only way you should live your life. Namaste.
You can check him out between games. You want to see the Tombstalker altar? I think he posted a video. He just posted the Monastery of Swift Spears today.
There she is. Yeah, there he is. Tombstalker is actually a female. I apologize.
That's the Tombstalker altar. I guess I can click on it and make it a little better, shouldn't I? So that's the one that Brian has in his food chain deck. And then he just did some Monastery Swift Spears.
I love Tombstalker. It just dies to Swords to Plowshare, and you look really silly when they submerge it.
Mm-hmm. You look silly anytime anything gets submerged. Let's be real, though.
You look like a hero when you submerge a Merit Lage token, though.
Oh, yeah. People actually stand up from their matches and applaud you.
Yeah. Like it's like being in the military and getting home on, and being in the airport. Yeah. You did it. You submerged them.
You did it.
You did it. Okay, Bryce. All right, guys. I know we don't favor people, but we're rooting for Bryce. Sorry, Paul.
We rooted for Paul a lot.
Yeah, that's
in
true.
the past.
Paul's good. And proper Paul.
Paul.
Are we building Paul as a heel? Is proper Paul going to be a heel? I think he's got to be a heel, right? He can't be a face. Like Paul the Legend is a face. It's time for Paul to make a heel turn.
I agree.
And proper Paul is here, and he wants to take your Underground Seas and rip them up.
Yep, that's what he wants to do. Guys, thank you.
You know what's funny? Because our Sneak and Show player and our lands, Paul and Gabe are so nice.
It's like super friendly people.
Yeah. It's hard to. It's weird because you're right. They are, but I don't know. So
Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is our finals. These are our undefeated players, and if this is your first time here, be sure to give us a follow. That way you get to know when we go live. We do this every Tuesday and every Friday. Always Legacy, and then here and there, Brian and I, sometimes Bryce, we'll jump on earlier in the day and do some MTGO. It's been mostly Brian lately. Mostly Brian. I've been assigned quite the project, and
Let's see. Don't.
There we go. It's gonna be one of
It's
those
a
hot
gamble.
starts. Yep.
Well, here's a gamble to avoid the days. No
Yep,
force.
and it results. That's bad. Bad for Bryce.
He's gonna find punishing fire, or is he finding
Really good for proper Paul.
PP. P
Oh.
squared.
There you go. P squared.
He'd look good in a monocle. He'd look good in a top hat.
He really would.
Yeah.
No, like when you said it, I was like, I can see it.
Yeah, this is happening. Also, you should follow and subscribe in the name of Underground Sea if you're a lover of Underground
Follow
Sea.
and subscribe in the
Yeah.
name of Underground Sea.
Yeah, it's a church and everyone's welcome. There's just a certain requirement.
There's just a certain requirement. Because we want to be like every other church.
Life from the wall. Oh.
You tuned in for 2 seconds and Bryce lost. Yep, that is exactly what happened. Paul actually did nothing for the first 3 turns.
2020, bang. Boom. Got him.
And then played a 2020.
2020 in Tabernacle.
I got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Tabernacle didn't matter.
So I just
Yeah, that's
thought,
true.
instead of one solo library, should I play one time?
He made Captain QC is like, Jesse, he made a decision. Where's the face cam?
I like Tyler's Tracker. I think Tyler's Tracker has got some umph to it. I feel like what you do with Sylvan Library. Every time I play a deck, I always feel like Sylvan Library, I don't know, like I feel dirty for not just drawing, paying 8. But like I like getting 4 color control off the board. I was playing Bug Threshold with it and it was okay. But like in those decks I like Library, but I could see in Maverick, like Tyler's Tracker seems fine. He's like a 2 mana cost a lot of times. Also a lot of times you can, worst comes to worst, you can, get him out. I like him. I think it's fine.
It's a good card.
You can green sun him, right?
Yeah. Card's like really expensive right now too. It's shot up to like $20. You see that?
Tracker?
Yeah. It's mostly because of modern, but
He's good. I think he's a good. There's some matchup where he's just a house.
Yeah.
Some matchup where Sylvan Library is a house, but worst comes to worst, casting both of them on turn 2. Both have to win.
so let's see if Bryce can manage to do something here.
Well, he's got the death right.
He does, and that is good. And he has surgical as well, so he's kind of got the graveyard covered. But the problem is going to be
The same
kind
thing.
of a natural, right? Like a natural, just have Thespian Stage and the Dark Depths. But even seeing this, Paul has Punishing Fire, right? You can imagine that the surgical is going to take that.
Take it away.
No, he's going for. Oh no, he just activated Death Right. Okay. Yeah, I like this a lot, my Bryce. Let's just get rid of the rid of the Lom.
Yeah, it's not
We,
surgical.
yeah, we gotta hold the surgical for Punishing Fire. I think that's probably gonna matter a little more. But there is a
good presence.
oh my
Dark
God.
depths. Dark depths. Like, you know what I mean? Ridiculous.
Like all he had was Crop Rot.
Yeah.
He was just waiting on a
Yeah.
Thespian Stage
Yeah.
or a Dark Depths,
Yeah.
and he just rips it off the top.
Yeah.
Here
Why
it is.
can't we have our 4 wastelands? How about that? How about that, Magic? You know what? That's the. Oh. Oh. Come on, Bryce. Let's get in the tank.
Oh yeah, Bryce. Oh yeah, Bryce will have his complaints on Tuesday. Everybody tune in on Tuesday. You'll get to hear Bryce go on rants about lands. Well, we're all gonna be there. We're all gonna see
Come on,
it.
Bryce. You got a counter for the crop rotation? Or is he baiting? I don't know. Maybe he's baiting it. I don't know. No, I don't think he's baiting it. I feel like we don't know he is the Thespian Stage, does he?
Welcome in, David. Good to see you. Looks awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. We've definitely done a lot. Not a lot recently, but we have tried to keep the stream watchable.
No. All right. No. Hey, we got Diabolic Edicts, though. We got 2 Diabolic Edicts in the board, most likely.
More than likely.
So we're gonna get there. We're
Unless
gonna get there.
unless you want to beat lands bad, then you go up to like 3.
Yeah, no, not worth it. Let's
Not
okay.
worth it.
Let's come on, Bryce. Let's do
Alright.
this. Come on.
And flip.
Let's
Okay.
Spell Pierce. That's
Alright.
not what we want to see, but it's okay.
The Delver flipped.
It's okay. We got time.
That's a start.
Come on. I don't see that block there.
Nope.
Come on, tap those 2 black sources. Come on, Bryce. Come on.
Just cast the
Edict.
edict.
There's a surgical. It's a sculling turn. Come on. Come on. Bring us home. You're taking too long to cast this Diabolic Edict. You don't have to think about it. Come on. Come on, Bryce.
He doesn't have it.
We can put ourselves sub 20.
He does. He needs
Wasteland, of course, right? They natural the combo and they draw Wasteland. Oh. Come on. Come on. I'm in the fetal position over here.
That stings, David. It'd be good to have you for these streams, but I do understand they can be late depending on where you are, for sure.
Tell your wife to be more understanding.
Or that you can try that.
Oh, yeah.
Get both ends of the spectrum.
I love my cat and my sadness, and I've got plenty of time. Honestly, treat your cat better. You know what? I don't like that attitude. You're probably making your cat depressed.
Seriously, you need to
also,
be.
you play Maverick. Maybe have you ever thought that maybe your problem is you don't have Underground Seas? Buy some Underground Seas, put them in your deck, and honestly, 2 of those things are going to change real quick in your life.
All right, that'll
What do we
do.
spell Pierce? We spell Pierce a Punishing Fire.
Punishing fire, and he had the 2 mana, and the game's over.
Oh, what? That's not how you play Magic, ladies and gentlemen. Don't cast 2020s. Oh, tragedy. Oh, see, look at that. Like Captain QC secretly my old girlfriend or something. He plays Blue Black Reanimator. Remember my analogy before?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was good. Right, we still have our backup match.
I
Jerry.
know. I'm just stressed. I know. I'm leaving and just tragedy. No.
I thought you were gonna go out there and like yell at Bryce or something.
No, he didn't do anything wrong. Bryce played great. We just needed, Hey, proper Paul. We don't know, but Paul made a heel turn today. He wants to be P squared, PP.
P squared.
Oh.
Our hero of Pendrell Vale takes it.
What do we got here? Sneak and Show versus Brian. Alright. I guess we're rooting for the guy who cast Death Right Shaman in this deck.
Mm-hmm. I guess.
Ooh, Lotus Petal.
Wait, is this someone else? Is this actually somebody named
You got him
Joseph?
Swift. You got him
Oh,
Swift.
do I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's what I've got going on. Okay, I'll switch real quick. Yeah, they hadn't sat down yet when I put it.
What do we do with people when it comes to the Church of Underground Sea? When it comes to if they have Underground Seas but they don't play them in their main deck, are they allowed in? Or are those the people who only show up for holidays? Let's be real. We'll let them in. They only show up for holidays anyways. They're not true believers. We're okay with that.
That is what it is.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
you give them the full invitation, but you
Yeah.
know that they're not going to use it, and you're
Yeah.
totally okay with that.
Yeah.
Until a tragedy hits them, and then you can't get them to leave.
Then they come back, right? Then they always come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I love Blue Black Reanimator too.
It is a sweet deck.
There's this girl in high school named Emily. She's just the definition of Blue Black Reanimator. Sweetest girl. Nice. Just near miss. Look at her Facebook now, and it's a tragedy, dude. If I just would have done the right thing, we could have been the happy couple. All these things.
Should have
Tragedy.
stayed on track.
Yeah, but look what happened. Death Right came along. Just, Death Right. They had that supermodel body. Delver. I knew what I could get out of Delver. Just, sucks. Makes me sad. Because it's like a real life situation with a real scenario. A good Delver.
The Purple Star David is a subscriber. Bryce jumps in. QC, I did the thing. I lost on camera just for you. Bryce, do you want to come in and share your thoughts on
Bryce,
your match?
Why don't you come in?
Come
People
in,
want Bryce.
share your thoughts.
I'll go get him.
Come on in.
Yeah, I'll give him his seat back. It'll be like a changing of the guard, you know.
He's gonna go seek him out, make him come in.
Changing of the guard. Changing of the guard. What a momentous occasion.
Welcome, Bryce.
Hi guys. Is everybody having as much fun as me?
You gotta
Way more.
You gotta rewatch that. If you don't understand who, I think that was emotional on our end. Us watching.
He was in the fetal position watching you.
Yeah.
This last game
We
or
just were
the
just like diabolic edict. We were channeling it. We were just like,
so game one, I actually had it.
yeah,
I
we
just
saw
gave it away.
We had to count it out.
We actually talked about it, and then we defended you afterwards.
Yeah.
I basically told the stream that it really wasn't your fault.
I knew what it was in his hand, and for some reason when I was resolving brainstorm, I was like, oh, he's only got lands in his hand.
You just threw them all sideways except for one Delver or one insect guy.
Yeah,
right?
no, but I had forced blue card lightning bolt,
Yeah, because you were
right, and I kept bolt,
Yeah.
and if I'd kept forced blue card, I could have countered the crop rotation and been fine.
Yeah, earlier you could have done that. Yeah, but even later you did have an attack that won over 2 turns as long as they don't draw something to kill your Delver. The Delver you leave back. You had damage.
Yeah, it's okay. Honestly,
But you know, Captain QC was really excited, right?
He was.
I mean, not only did I lose, but I punted game one.
So you did this for the people.
the person.
The person. The one person.
I don't even care. Well, we even this match, I guess we're still on.
This is game two.
Is it game 2?
Yeah.
You know that for sure. Who's up again?
Brian.
Brian's up again.
Brian comboed off.
Against Sneak and Show?
Yeah, he had like Force of Will, Force of Will, Force of Will, and the combo.
He usually doesn't he usually feel like pretty bad about playing this deck?
When you have the counter spells on time.
Maybe freaking.
Are those foil basics? Yes. Brian's deck is entirely foil,
Look how cool that Eternal
Except
Spirits looks on screen.
except for the cards that
Dude, I
cannot.
even plugged your altars.
He did.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
He did.
Whoa.
Yeah,
He plugged
owe
your
me
altars.
money,
Man.
dude.
He did. It wasn't me.
Oh.
It really wasn't.
Yeah, we didn't plug your altars all
'Cause-
night long.
Because you know I would never do that because I always
Did you look at the new one?
We
the
looked at
we haven't looked at them. We just plugged it.
We looked at your Tombstalker because we've been talking about Tombstalker a lot, and so we looked at the Tombstalker.
The Tombstalker is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's really. It's really pretty.
There's a Monastery Swiss beer that I just put it up.
Yeah,
that
we
looks pretty
kind
sweet.
of browse past that one.
I figured if we look at it now, then we have nothing to go through on Tuesday.
Oh no!
Except for
there'll
there won't be
more.
a Tuesday.
And there'll be more.
Yeah, it's not
Oh, and there
I'm
will be
gonna
more.
try and
Yeah, we're not streaming. That's a good thing to mention, chat. We will not be here next week at all.
nope, no Tuesday or Friday.
No Tuesday or Friday. Like our whole store is heading to Seattle on Tuesday, so we are not going to be streaming next week. But
Sorry.
don't worry, the week after that we'll be back and we'll
All right.
we'll continue
Sarah,
like
you gotta
normal.
finish
No,
it.
it's your chair. I don't want to do it. No, it's you. It's like changing the guard. You got to go back. Yeah.
Nope.
So
You got to finish it.
Bryce
out.
came in. Captain QC got the
we got Bryce in.
yeah. Bryce got to
I'd
see
be
his
so
his
depressed.
cards.
I hate to say this. You're not supposed to say this. I don't care what happens because I'm just sad. I just don't. Like we were all in on the Diabolic Edict play, and we believed it didn't happen. This is This
If
lost
only-
this lost a Super Bowl, man. I don't know what to do with myself.
The one card that I had in my deck. If I had top deck perfectly.
Oh man, if you would have topped that Diabolic Edict, I would have jumped over the table.
He probably would have jumped over the table out the door so he can give you a
I
hug.
probably
I still would have
just,
found a way to
yeah.
lose though.
Oh,
Just punch proper Paul just to show him.
yeah, proper Paul.
Alright.
See you, Bryce.
There's a lot of action going on here. What are we forcing? Are we forcing this Tombstalker?
I think so.
Oh, God.
That's kind of surprising, isn't it? Like,
Just the clock, I guess. He doesn't have anything else. He used the Show and tell to cast the force.
That is a desperation force if I've seen one. Because that's not a card that matters in this matchup, right?
Yeah, I guess
It's not.
But I guess at this point, one more hit from these guys, 2 more hits, and the game's over. And maybe he's just buying another turn.
Yeah.
Man, we've watched Gabe go through some rough stuff tonight.
Yeah, we have. Well, there's something. Okay,
Yeah.
well, what's next, right?
I mean, do we just have to go Emrakul, whack everything, or do we have to go Emrakul and Gristlebrand to win this game?
Did Brian even draw his card?
In his hand.
I don't remember him drawing his card.
Duck pie, is that even a real thing? Like duck? You made like a duck pie? Like a meat pie with duck instead? Or is it like a meat pie? Could you like explain your duck pie? Like, I don't really understand. Like, is there a duck in your pie? Or is it just like a term? Like, is it really like pineapple and like chocolate? Or is it actual duck?
Okay, so he gets to
Did I
live
just
here.
talk about how we need Emrakul and Gristlebrand and that
Yep.
happened?
Yep,
Okay.
it did. So Gabe's gonna go back up to 7. He has the option to draw up a hand here. He probably is going to, or he goes up to 10, and then he's gonna go back to 3.
I don't
I
get
would
it.
assume.
You know what? We willed this with the diabolic.
No,
Edict.
no. He can't go back to 3. He can't go back to 3 because Tombstalker's still on the board. Okay, so he has to go up to 10, and
Wait,
then
yeah.
he has to hope to draw something to kill that kills.
He's got 2 turns. Do you pay 7 and do you just hope that somehow you just like are able to generate another show and tell? And do you know what I'm saying? I almost would rather just pay 7 there and just try to stick a threat so I can just block the Tombstalker.
This I think it would have been better. I
You think
actually
so?
I actually do think so.
I don't know
Because
the deck,
there-
so I
there's,
can't hard
there's
tell.
probably a higher chance that he finds a creature and can block the Tombstalker, and like the game continues with Brian with having nothing.
Okay,
Right.
good.
Whereas this line, he actually has to draw a creature right here.
Okay.
He has to draw a creature off the top.
We're gonna find a cantrip. That's maybe that's what he's probably thinking in his head. Is just like I haven't seen a lot of cantrips, so maybe I've got a cantrip on top of my deck. So maybe that's the line he's on. I would have liked to pay 7. It's a little risque, but I think sometimes when we're in pressure situations, we try to go more conservative. I think that's what Gabriel's thinking. He wasn't thinking that way when he forced that probe.
No.
That much.
We don't know who was thinking that.
see.
Yeah, but Seiju off
Wait,
the top.
I want to
that's-
see if he Don't touch your deck, Gabe. The game's over though. Look, I mean, this is the top.
Yeah, he has to know. There was no red mana to sneak something in? Are you sure? Oh, wait. Did he have a land drop though? Because he did use both of his red mana to put 2 creatures in, right?
Hey, did you play a land that turn? Yeah.
Okay, so if he had drawn 7, he would have
looked at it.
he would have needed land plus creature.
I'll tell you one thing. We looked at it because I went and saw the top 7 as cards.
Okay.
It was a lot of cantrips and force of will, so I think we're still dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's hey, listen. The thing is though, is there's sometimes you still games that way. That's
Yeah.
I'm a big believer that the games that are going to make the difference are the games where you pull out something out of nothing.
Yeah.
So that wasn't out.
Okay.
After you watched him force probe, I want to see if I can help him out. So, Gabe, we love you. Sorry that you lost on stream tonight. It made me sad. So, we got to see plenty of Underground Seas. I feel like we never really got the results we wanted. Bryce became a hero today. Paul became a villain. Robert Paul's here to
Proper
stay.
Paul. Yep.
Yeah, but
He just seems like one of those people who has like one of those canes that's like
he's got
a super gadget,
Oh,
right?
we'll get him one. Yeah, we
Like-
can get him.
Like it can do all sorts of crazy stuff. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't look like a weapon, but like it's just awful. I mean, you did say he's a villain, right?
Yeah.
Just has to be.
That's how it is. This is sad. So no stream next week. So not till next Friday.
No, not till.
I'll probably have quit Legacy by then because I'll be so depressed about Seattle and the Mox tournament. So I'll probably have lost.
You're all
2
registered
Blood
for the
Moon
Mox
decks.
tournament as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll be there.
So you'll be there with me.
Yeah,
and
they're
Brian.
picking me.
Okay.
Are you gonna be there for the Mox
Yes.
tournament?
Yes.
You know
I'm
what?
registered.
I'm taking a ferry. This is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna take a ferry.
Okay.
You guys are gonna pick me up. We're going away. So before I get to you guys, I'm gonna have to take an ocean journey.
Whoa.
Yeah.
When are you leaving then?
I gotta leave at like 6 o'clock in the morning.
On
Oh, what do you mean? When I'm leaving to go to Seattle, or when I'm leaving?
when are you taking your ferry?
No, the fair. So I'm staying in for the first 3 days. I'm staying in the Sound. It's like Puget Sound or something. And to get to where you guys are, I gotta take a ferry. So
Really?
I gotta wake up super early in the morning. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we'll be. I'll be. I think we'll be at the 5K. So,
Yeah, we will.
So
We will be at the 5K. So that's going to be at Mox Boarding House on Wednesday. So I guess we're not streaming, but hey, look, altars. Yeah, click on the link, guys. If you guys like altars, click on the link that MTG bot just threw up there. Jordan is casting it. It's gonna be legend. Wait for it. Wait for it a little more. I'm so agitated, Derry. Not sure.
I like Bryce Swift Spears. The one problem you got about Bryce Swift Spears,
What's that?
can't play him in deck Underground Sea.
You could.
I mean, you can't though. You can't.
I mean, you could.
But Bryce has plenty of altars that you, members of the Church of Underground Sea, can buy. Tombstalkers, Deathrite Shaman, Jug Pyromancers. He still refuses to do my True Name Nemesises. I don't know why, but so buy his altars, put him in your deck of the Church of Underground Sea, be successful in life, and maybe we'll meet again in a better life.
Oh, Jordan Knight Soccer. That's right. I know who that is. Okay. Hey, you coming in to talk about things?
Well, I can.
Oh, okay. You're just coming in to drop stuff off. Well, guys, that does wrap up the stream. If you guys were new to the stream, please throw us a follow. We appreciate it. We appreciate all of you being here, watching some Legacy with us. Of course, when Terry's here, we now know that if Terry's here, you're rooting for the Underground Sea deck.
People are going to get what they want.
Yep. Except for the fact that Proper Paul won this time.
That's true. I feel like we need a good sign off and we need a good catchphrase, and I've got it for us today.
Okay.
It's, ladies and gentlemen, that's how we play Magic. See you next time.